Center to watch the Chicago Bulls try and even this series. They were disappointed in Game 3 after 2 nail-biters in Boston. The Celtics with a blowout. And that's the way the Eastern Conference playoff picture stands right now. Only Cleveland having an easy time. The other series very competitive as we get set for Game 4 here in Chicago. Good afternoon, everyone. Along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen on hand. Lisa Salters will join us shortly. The Celtics knew it was not going to be easy without Kevin Garnett trying to defend their title, so they needed big efforts from a number of people. Boy, do they have gotten terrific performances from Rajon Rondo. Mark, he has simply been the best player in this series.
So no question about it. Doesn't have the biggest name in this series, but through 3, he's had the biggest game. Stellar basketball being played by Rondo. No KG, no problem. Triple-double like numbers. Just you take a look, awfully impressive, and it's the way that Rondo has played has given this Celtic team plenty of life.
They had 4 steals a game and shooting 50% from the field. This matchup's fun because you have 2 great young point guards. Derrick Rose is the rookie from Chicago. He was brilliant in Game 1, but not since then. They need a huge game from him, Jeff, don't they?
And they need him to attack. Vinny Del Negro wants him to think less and push the ball and get in the paint. He had 11 free throws in that 36-point outburst in Game 1, only 4 in the last 2 games. So he's got to be on the attack, but he also has to have good production from Ben Gordon. Gordon doesn't have to be as great as he was in Game 2 when he had 42 points, but he sure has to be more productive than he was in Game 3.
Nobody was productive for Chicago in Game 3. With more on that, let's check in with Lisa Salters. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Mike. Boy, of course, the Bulls know that the one thing they cannot do this afternoon is perform the way they did in Game 3. Take a look at the numbers. They're on the screen. They are not pretty. Ben Gordon described it as, quote, a terrible game in every aspect. He said in Games 1 and 2 in Boston, we played with an edge. Then in Game 3 here in Chicago, we just lost it. Joakim Noah told me that he thinks that the team was just overcome by the moment. He said we had the jitters. Derrick Rose got his award before the game. There was just a lot going on. So the key today, says Vinny Del Negro, relax and compete. My message to my guys, just show up. Mike?
Well, Del Negro confident his team will bounce back. They've done it before. They finished the end of the regular season strong. Now with a chance to get the fans behind him. It was quite a scene the other night in Game 3 because Derrick Rose received that Rookie of the Year award, and the place was just buzzing, ready for a huge effort, and was quickly deflated. They're buzzing again as Pierce puts up the first shot. That won't go. And Pierce started off that Game 3, Mark. He had 13 points in the first quarter. He sent the message early.
Oh, you can tell he was a guy that was upset with the way he had been playing, but certainly came out aggressive to send a message.
And Tyrese Thomas with the second effort. And again, so many young players on this Bulls team with Thomas and Noah and Rose in the starting lineup. Even Salmons have not had very little playoff experience as compared to what the Celtics certainly have.
Yeah, but the Celtics, you know, people forget this. They're starting 3 young players, too. Big Baby Davis, Perkins, and Rondo. So Danny Ainge has done a good job incorporating youth into this Celtics team as well.
Gordon guarded by Ray Allen, the UConn guys who had that great duel in Game 2. Gordon had the 42, but Ray Allen had the big shot at the end, and the Celtics had the victory. And here's Rose, the hometown product. What a sensational rookie year he has had. Salmon's 2 on the shot clock. Just gets it off in time. And the rebound comes out to Allen.
And if you're Derrick Rose and they switch to pick and roll and Big Baby is defending you, get everybody out of your way and play basketball.
Inside they go to Perkins. Perkins doing his usual business-like performance. And very solid once again. Double teamed out to Pierce. Pierce the little fake. And a travel called on Paul Pierce. Let's take a look at our Taco Bell starting lineups. And for the Celtics, Glenn Davis has played well, with Garnett out with the knee injury. But they'll need continued play, good play from everyone. Meanwhile, for the Bulls again, the young team, Salmons, what a difference he has made since being acquired from Sacramento, but has not played particularly well in this series thus far. Rose shot blocked by Perkins. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it's still going to be Bulls ball, 10 on the clock.
But once again, if you're Derrick Rose, understand they're switching. That time Perkins on him. Don't bail him out, let him off the hook with a jump shot. Put the ball on the floor and put pressure on this Celtic defense.
He's got to do what Steve Nash does. Nash against the switch will back it up and then get a running start at the big man right there so he can create more force.
There's Noah. Touch pass out. Salmons 3 on the shot clock again. Salmons double team, throws up an air ball. And Doc Rivers talking about his team's transition in Game 3. He said, hey, we finally played defense. Rondo bumped. and throws it up, and Derrick Rose picks up his first foul. The maturation from Rajon Rondo from last year, where obviously he played very well. He was a starting point guard at an NBA championship team, but he has really taken it to another level. Mark, where are you most impressed with his improvement?
Well, he's a young player with a high IQ, but I think he finally got it, what Doctor has wanted him to do all along. Push the basketball, use your speed. In pushing the ball, it doesn't mean you're going to get quality possessions every time, but you're putting so much pressure on the defense, and that's where Rondo is as tough as it gets.
Paul Pierce came out and said a couple of weeks ago he's our MVP this year. Doc Rivers said he's the driver of the car. And he has really done an unbelievable job, especially since Garnett went out. As he misses the second one.
What I love about Rondo, he plays with an edge. He plays like he has something to prove every single time out on the floor.
We got a chance to watch Rose and Rondo for a lot of years to come. It's going to be a fun little rivalry. The two-point guards as Ben Gordon gets inside. Biggest problem, Vinny Del Negro said about Game 3 was the lack of ball movement. Everybody tried to do it on their own, Jeff.
Well, I think when the Celtics are now staying on the pick and roll trap a little bit longer, what they've got to do is get in the middle of the floor to the weak side as the 3-second call is made against the Celtics.
Good defense in that sequence for Chicago.
Well, Ben Gordon just takes Ray Allen to the hoop. Good extra step. Poor help or non-help by the Celtic bigs.
Rondo and Rose matched up against each other. Rose goes back door and he throws it down. Pretty bounce pass and a strong finish from the 20-year-old rookie.
That's a good job moving without the basketball. Way to get him going on the offensive end.
Well, a little different start than Game 3. Again, the Celtics came out right away through the first punch. Ben Gordon said that they staggered, never recovered. Perkins slowly backs down and dumps it in.
If they get the ball to Perkins on the left block and they're just going to leave him with that strength differential against Noah, he's going to get a quality shot every time.
Noah, a good active shot blocker, but has no way he can go up against the weight. Perkins is Gordon on the dribble. Gordon gets inside, bank shot, won't go. And Glenn Davis the rebound. Rondo on the pull-up. Rose pushing, kicks it out. Salins wide open for three. Won't go. Thomas can't finish. And Perkins the rebound.
That was a great attack by Derrick Rose to create that shot for Salins.
Ray Allen charges into Ben Gordon and an offensive foul.
Well, this is exactly what Vinny Del Negro was talking about. Get in the paint, good left hand, skip pass, and just a wide open miss by Salmons. Good follow by Tyrese Thomas, just couldn't get it to go down.
Vinny Del Negro, the rookie head coach. There's 4 rookie head coaches in the playoffs. All doing pretty well. Tony DeLeo in Philadelphia, obviously. Eric Spoelstra in Miami. As Gordon's shot won't go. Rebound Perkins. And a foul called on Noah. Noah looking to argue a bit with Danny Crawford, the veteran official. One of the interesting things about the matchup is Del Negro and Doc Rivers, 2 longtime friends. Del Negro from Springfield, Massachusetts. He grew up a Celtics fan. And Doc Rivers from Chicago, grew up a Bulls fan. Now they coach the opposite teams. They played together in San Antonio. They've been good friends for a long time. Ray Allen a 3, puts it in.
That's a good read by Rondo, but also he has Kendrick Perkins wide open because they're leaving him trying to pay attention to Ray Allen coming off of that screen.
Thomas and Davis, speaking of good friends, former LSU teammates and buddies from Baton Rouge. 5 on the shot clock again. Bulls have to put it up quick. Rose left wide open. Rose 4 points, and the Bulls up by 2.
Something Vinny Del Negro was concerned about in Game 3. Lack of ball movement. They're making the extra pass early on in this one.
Pierce can't get it to go. Pierce had that great start. He's 0 for 2 here in the first quarter. A great start in Game 3. Hit his first 6 shots from the field, and after not playing particularly well in the first couple of games. Thomas, the touch pass. There's the what Del Negro was hoping for. This is the way the Bulls played in the first couple of games. They were a little tentative in game 3. Certainly not here in game 4. Allen, the quick release. Here comes Rose. Stripped and stolen by Davis. Allen. Contact, count it, and a foul. Gordon bumped him, and Ray Allen with a chance for a three-point play. All set up from Big Baby Davis, who had 6 steals in game 3. Gets one here in game 4.
Someone please call 911. Derrick Rose allows Big Baby Davis to pick his pocket, does a good job getting rid of the basketball, and then Ray Allen takes the contact, gets the basket.
Allen's made all 12 of his free throws so far in the playoffs. One of the best free throw shooters in the history of the game. And the Celtics back within 1. Thomas. Allen come the other way. Davis playing with a lot of confidence. Didn't play a lot last year's playoffs. Gets a nice pass inside. Perkins misses the first attempt. Goes back up, blocked, but still gets it to go. Thomas got his fingertips on that one.
And that was because Tyrus Thomas, after a poor offensive play, was trotting back. So the Bulls were mismatched all across the floor. If every possession means something, then run back.
Salmons misfires again. Salmons 0 for 4 to start. And again, the Celtics just beating them down. They pulled Rondo with the layup.
But that's exactly what you were talking about, Coach. You have to have 5 guys running back, contain the basketball. That possession, they allowed Derrick Rose to just play one-on-one against Ron.
And Del Negro, perhaps seeing that, wants a timeout. The explosive, emotional start. Right now, the Celtics on a 7-0 run.
Well, this is just an are you kidding me? If you want to win, run back. That's dog trotting. Players sprint. Horses trot.
They've scored these 7 points in 58 seconds. And with 5:02 remaining in the first, Boston up by 3. Welcome back to Chicago. Spanish language version of today's game presented by ESPN Deportes. Use the SAP function on your television. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the first. Doc Rivers Celtics leading Vinny Del Negro's Chicago Bulls by 3. And as we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, these two good friends became friends when they played a few years in San Antonio for the Spurs. And Doc Rivers remembers that Del Negro had a certain nickname.
He was called Kerosene because I was coming off the bench then, and basically I had to put out the fires that he started out on the floor all the time.
From who he was guarding.
Whoever he was guarding. But I tell you, he's a high IQ player, could really shoot the basketball and score.
And Del Negro says that when he was considering the job, said Doc Rivers was a big help to him, a lot of support. Said before he got the job, when he got the job, during the course of the season, because this is Del Negro's first coaching assignment ever, not just as a head coach at any spot. Is Rondo backs in the follow. Rondo once again with the hustle play.
And very interesting, Vinny Del Negro at the first time out took out Derrick Rose and Tyrus Thomas, going with Kirk Heinrich at the point guard.
And Brad Miller, the other player required back at the trading deadline from Sacramento with Salmons. Gordon gets inside. Nice move from Gordon. Then Gordon from Mount Vernon, New York. And that unbelievable game when he gets hot. He can be as explosive as any player in the NBA. A 42-point game in Boston. Rondo floats it up. That won't go. Miller lost it out of bounds. They say last touch by Miller. Davis forcing that. Miller has struggled shooting the ball in the series. The veteran. Ben Gordon telling us he's a nice calming influence on the court. And he commits a foul right away. Miller has played a bunch of playoff games. First with Charlotte, then he played with Indiana, with Sacramento, now with the Chicago Bulls.
Undrafted, correct, Mike?
That's right. Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Mike, I was talking to Joe Kimnoa about the addition of Brad Miller, and he said he's such a good vet to have on this team. He's experienced so much. He's a really great passer, a skill that I one day want to have. He goes, he's as slow as he wants to be, very slow, the slowest player I've ever played with. But he says he has good vision for those angles, and he's teaching me how to get to the basket. Mike?
Well, we won't say, Lisa, he's slow. We'll say he's methodical. Meanwhile, Rondo, a beautiful pass to Davis. Rondo off to another good start. Alley-oop to Noah, not a smart play there. And here comes Rondo once again, forcing the action. He's fouled from behind by Heinrich. And this is where Rondo really hurt them in a couple of the games. Just his ability to get down the floor. Rondo, without question, one of the fastest players in the league.
And I'm beginning to think one of the most underrated players in the league. The way that he is playing right now is a thing of beauty. Pushing the ball, he plays to his strength, doesn't try to do too much. He is playing picture-perfect basketball from the point guard position.
Now, we're a week into the playoffs as he hits the free throw, and he's averaging nearly the triple-double. Obviously, the number's way up from the regular season. He's fourth in rebounds in the playoffs so far. Fourth. And leads and steals at 4 a game.
And the one thing in the past that you talked about concerning Rondo was his inability to shoot jump shots. But he's put the time in. He's made himself not a great jump shooter, but a guy at least you have to respect.
Lead is 7 already. The crowd is quiet. And again, we're so fired up. Celtics calming them down. Salmons. Gordon looking for an opening. Gets inside. Tough shot. Won't go. Fight for the rebound. Perkins stripped off of Perkins' legs. And it's going to be Chicago ball.
And to me, John Salmons, who has not shot well so far in this series, cannot pass up wide open shots. Ben Gordon on that series created a good open shot for him. He turned it down and just played hot potato back to Ben Gordon, who was forced to take a much more difficult shot.
Salmons was the second leading scorer as Miller gets inside. Really full court pressure. Salmons, since acquired from Sacramento, averaged almost 19 a game for them, but he's shooting about 37% in the series. Under 3 to play here in the first. Davis out of control a bit. Shot clock at 3. Rondo has to hoist up a 3. Not a bad attempt. Ball batted around Salmons. Quick outlet to Heinrich. Heinrich, the former starting point guard for the Bulls, gave that up to Derrick Rose. Now comes off the bench. Shot blocked by Perkins. And that's 3 blocked shots already for Kendrick Perkins. And Doc Rivers wants a timeout.
Timeout, Boston.
Take a full timeout as Rajon Rondo once again starting off strong.
So we talked about it, doing an outstanding job. What he does best, push the basketball in transition. Put so much pressure on your defense getting back. Stellar job of getting into the seams, takes it to the playground. Fake behind the back, hands it off to Big Baby.
The NBA playoffs on ABC, brought to you by Avis. We try harder.
Keep attacking. Look for your shots. Every time we post the ball, every time we drive the ball, we score. All right?
Doc Rivers' team is attacking already 8 fast break points, Mark Jackson.
And if you're the Bulls, the concern is getting back in transition. They're doing a poor job, just what Doc Rivers talking about. Rondo recognizing, rebound the basketball. Look at the trot. That's a home run trot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bull defenders not running back, helping Derrick Rose. Rondo attacks the body, gets to the cup. Second time again, Rondo rebounding the basketball off to the races. Paul Pierce, once it smells a basket, nobody back the offensive rebound or to help keep a body on Rondo, sticks with it, gets the easy putback.
Rondo already 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, doesn't have a turnover. Stephon Marbury playing with Rondo. Marbury had a good game in Game 3 in the victory for the Celtics. His Davis shot won't go. Perkins had it and lost it. Rose back in the game. Rose and Heinrich and Gordon, the 3 guards playing together, along with Noah and Miller. Noah inside, tried the banker. And rebound Davis. Davis, the other young Celtic who's played extremely well in this series. He's playing 40 minutes a game. With Garnett and Leon Poe both out, he's had to play some big-time minutes. Rondo gets inside, kicks it out Marbury. Marbury trying to jam it in, gets it back, puts up the shot as the shot clock expiring.
And here's Stephon Marbury. You have to take that jump shot in the corner. Off of the penetration by Rondo.
Oh, pretty play, Rose, and he finds Miller. Derrick Rose led all rookies in assists. He received his trophy Rookie of the Year. Said it was a very emotional night for him the other night. His mom was here. He's so close to his mom and his brothers. But they have an offensive foul call. Perkins on the moving screen.
Well, this is just a good under-control push, good crossover. And that vision right there cannot be taught. You are born with that vision. He saw the play before the play even opened up.
He had 36 points in game one. That tied the NBA record for most points by a rookie in their first playoff game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also had 36. Did not play well in games 2 and 3. Had 7 turnovers in game 3. Was very upset with himself. Miller fouled, and Perkins quickly picks up his second foul.
And actually, it should have been a double dribble. Doc Rivers trying to explain it right now. He caught the ball, put it down, and regrouped, and then put it down again. So Brad Miller got away with one.
I think when you're that slow, double dribble should be allowed. How are you going to get enough momentum going to the rim if you don't have some tricks?
Oh, you're preaching to the choir, because I can relate. But he slaps the ball down, then all of a sudden puts it down again. Referees missed one.
I don't think that's a double dribble, though.
No, he never had possession.
I think he just batted it down. You have to have control.
He controlled that basketball, putting it down.
I don't know. Gordon misses. Mikey Moore just fresh in. Had it knocked out of his hands by Thomas, and it's Celtic ball. Mikey Moore, the other late season pickup. Moore and Marbury still trying to get a good flow and a good rhythm with the Celtics. They're going to have to play important minutes in the postseason. Davis. Neither team shooting particularly well. 37% and 35%. Boston with the higher number. Gordon banks it in. 6 points for Gordon.
And that's Rondo's biggest defensive weakness is every time in transition he's looking to stab, steal instead of stay in front of the ball. That time it cost him as Ben Gordon flew right by him and finished in the lane.
A little over a second difference between shot clock and game clock as we wind down the first quarter. Marbury, good hard drive, blocked by Thomas. Gordon throws it ahead, Heinrich. Heinrich step back, that's a 2. And just off the mark. Tyrus Thomas, who leads all players in the playoffs in block shots, throws that one back as the first quarter comes to an end. Rajon Rondo continues his fine play, but the Bulls finish on a 6-0 run. First quarter complete here at a sold-out United Center. The defending champs with a 1-point lead.
Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
Welcome back to the United Center where the Celtics are up by 1. Doc, I heard you tell your guys to keep attacking. What do you mean by that?
Well, we want to push it up. You know, we feel we can run on them, and we've had our opportunities. Taking a couple of quick shots, though. We got to get back into execution.
Paul Pierce, no points in that first quarter. How much does that concern you?
Not at all. I thought he could have been more aggressive and settled, but he'll get a rhythm.
All right, thanks for your time, Doc. Mike?
All right, Lisa. Yesterday we asked Doc Rivers about playing without Kevin Garnett, and he said, hey, we have defensive rules. You just do your job, and we still feel we're good enough to win a championship. Now, last week he said Garnett will not return at all in the playoffs. The door's been open a little bit because he's not having surgery as Gordon knocks down the jumper. But the Celtics, where do they miss Garnett the most? Obviously, Defensive Player of the Year. Where do they miss Garnett the most, Mark?
Well, he's the one guy that can catch the ball in the post and demand a double team, and also defensively. There's no question about it. He was the anchor of their defense, so they sorely miss him. But Doc touched on it. The principles that they have defensively, they don't leave.
Pierce can't get that to go. Pierce 0 for 4. Rose to Heinrich. That's a 2. Foot on the line. And Davis the rebound. The big ticket, Kevin Garnett, is out with the knee injury. Davis was saying the other day as he misses, he goes, we don't have the ticket, but I'm the ticket stub.
That's one big ticket stub.
He has played very well. Miller just can't get him to fall so far in this postseason. Davis fighting, picked up by Pierce. Marbury ahead to Eddie House. That's a 3. Mikey Moore can't control, but Marbury the rebound, and they'll reset. Marbury inside to Davis, back out. And Stephon Marbury, his first field goal. Marbury had 13 points in game 3. Miller slowly down the lane, count it, and a foul. Mikey Moore in the restricted area, and Brad Miller with a chance for the 3-point play.
Foul on Mikey Moore, his first, team's first.
And good aggressiveness by Brad Miller. Missed a couple of jump shots, does a good job turning it down, taking it to the body of Mikey Moore. The help came late. Brad Miller does a good job exploding and finish.
Miller again obtained from Sacramento when John Paxson made 3 deals in the space of 24 hours. They shipped off 6 players, received 5 back. For Miller, this is now his 11th year in the league. A 2-time All-Star, was an All-Star with Indiana, was an All-Star with Sacramento. That was the main deal, the one going to Sacramento. Miller glad to come back to Chicago. He's a longtime Cubs fan. In his first stint here, I think he sang the national anthem. No, he sang Take Me Out to the Ball Game at Wrigley Field once. He's not the All-Star anymore, but again, they like his fit. Both Salmons and Miller fit this team pretty well, Jeff. One of the reasons for the deal really was financial, but it turns out they turned out to be a better fit.
Well, and also, it got them out of playing 9 and 10 guys. They're at a 7-man rotation. So everybody has a defined role and a big role, and it makes for better team chemistry.
Ryan Scalabrine has come on as Pierce mishandled it. Moves out of bounds. And let's not forget, Chicago was without Luol Deng. Deng, one of their premier players, with the fracture in his leg, and he is done for the season.
It'll be interesting to see how they incorporate him next year.
Scalabrine trying to draw the foul. And Rose rips it down. Thomas. Heinrich. That's a 3. Bang. Bulls back up by 5. And the crowd back into it.
And that's 2 very good reads that Tyrus Thomas has made early on in this ball game.
Marbury stripped. Ball knocked loose. Miller picks it up. Salmons finding Rose. Rose to the basket. Back out Heinrich. Rose with a quick jump shot. A 16-2 run. Going back to the first quarter, and the Bulls up by 7, their largest lead. Timeout, Boston. And the first standing ovation of the afternoon.
Making plays offensively. Tyrus Thomas not settling for the jump shot. Goes up, finds Kurt Heinrich all by himself. Knocks down the J. And a Rose is still a Rose by any other name. Derrick Rose getting it done. Late contest by Stephon Marbury. Must pay the price.
Back in Chicago, where the Bulls lead by 7 this Sunday and every Sunday through the rest of the season. Desperate Housewives is all new. Tonight, it's the usual hijinks. Cheating, another housewife gets arrested, and someone makes a deadly confession. Nice. Desperate Housewives, all new tonight at 9, 8 Central on ABC. Moments ago, Vinny Del Negro talking to his team during the huddle.
Good quarter. Keep your head up and work. Keep attacking. Keep attacking. Those big guys jump out on you, Derek. Blow right around them.
And here's exactly what he's talking about. Play young, look to attack. Derrick Rose puts his foot on the gas pedal, making plays. Once again, pushing the ball in transition. Good turn down by Kurt Heinrich, and then Rose. Reward the playmaker.
He's only 20 years old. Just a 1 year of college ball at Memphis. What everybody talks about is his composure. As Eddie House puts up a two-pointer.
Eddie House.
5-point game, just over 3 minutes gone by here in the second. Salmons. Rose. Oh, pretty pass again, and Thomas with the finish. Rose starting to find the seams.
You can see how special this young man is. He's playing at a tremendous pace right now, letting the game come to him.
You watch him, you have no idea if his team's up by 20 or down by 20 just by looking at him. Good hustle from House to hold on. Rondo going right at him. And a foul on the pass. That's going to be the second on Rose.
Now called on Derrick Rose, his second. First team foul.
Well, Rose has had to live in the paint for them to score. Here, good catch and go. Nice vision, good wraparound pass to Tyrus Thomas. And at the other end, as we see the pass again, that's just tremendous vision. Is Derrick Rose had the ball contained. No reason to try to strip down on the ball and foul. He's too valuable.
Pierce, an anti-Boston chant starts here at the United Center. Pierce short. Pierce 0 for 5. Heinrich. Rondo is now on Heinrich. Pierce. Eddie House switches on Rose. Shot clock at 9. Thomas very active early on the offensive end. Misses that one.
If you're Paul Pierce, you have to find a way to get it going on the offensive end for the Celtics.
Perkins left wide open. He just comes out and does his job every game. Becomes such a huge fan of Kendrick Perkins.
And the people that appreciate Kendrick Perkins the most are his teammates. Reminds me of Charles Oakley, who was pretty much the anchor of the success we had in New York.
Oakley, the former Bull and the former Knick. Shot clock down to 3. Heinrich on the drive, gets inside. Lots of contact. Here comes Rondo the other way. Two players slow to get up. Eddie House can't hit. And a long rebound. House tries to save it, but it goes right to Salmons. Bulls have some numbers. Heinrich trying to avoid. Can't, but Miller right there. Won't go down. And Pierce the rebound. House for 3. That's good.
3-point field goal, Eddie House.
Eddie House, during the blowout in Game 3, walked up to Doc Rivers. The game was going on. He was about to go in the game, and he said to Doc Rivers, this might not be the appropriate time, but can you get me some tickets to the White Sox game tomorrow? As Thomas misses the jumper.
You got to love the focus of the NBA player.
Well, House, a very loose guy. They love him in the locker room. That's one of the reasons why. Pierce finally gets his first field goal. It's a 3-pointer.
Chicago's defense in the half court, for the most part, has been outstanding. It's their transition and semi-transition defense that has let them down.
Another run, this one from Boston. As Rose, a little push shot. 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists for Derrick Rose. Rose on Pierce. Pierce takes him to the basket. Is that just a transition defense, or they switched Salmons on Rondo?
They ran a pick and roll, and they've done it twice where Chicago has switched it. I would rather keep Rose on Rondo and just show instead of switch.
Nice feed. Miller. Always been a good passing big man. And Tyrus Thomas to finish.
Tyrus Thomas just hanging along the baseline, the beneficiary of some very good assists.
Count it, and a foul. Blocking foul, and a chance for a 3-point play. As Pierce is down. No, excuse me, Rondo is down. Bounces back up. He's got that tender ankle. And we'll have a timeout.
And And part of the problem was the previous possession, they switched the pick and roll with the 1 and 2. This time they try to stay, rolls on Rondo. Rondo recognizes, gets the angle, and attacks the paint area.
Miller the foul, his second. Rondo's got 9 points to lead all scorers. The Boston Celtics care about the environment. Recently, Celtics captain Paul Pierce was a star off the court and on the stage when he helped the local elementary school class bring a book to life by participating in their production of a book they'd recently read. The play was done as a part of the Celtics Read to Achieve program. A great job done by Paul Pierce in the NBA, where caring about the environment happens. Good work, Paul Pierce. He was surrounded by fine actors and actresses.
Putting that wig on, that's taking one for the team.
Meanwhile, our NBA calendar tonight on TNT. Doubleheader, couple of game 4s. Orlando at Philly, Portland to Houston. Monday on NBA TV. New Orleans will try and even things up with Denver. And then next Friday on ESPN, some game 6s if necessary. It certainly looks like they will be. And then next Sunday, either some game 7s or game 1s of the second round. As the playoffs off to a terrific start or a weekend. And Rajon Rondo off to another terrific start. Rose and Rondo, the two of them, not only talented young players, they can make the All-NBA quiet team. Neither guy talks a lot. Rose says they don't say anything to each other during the course of the game. Salmons can't get it to go. Scalabrine the rebound. Salmons now from the field. 0 for 6. Rondo right back down. Blocked by Salmons. Rose fouled Scalabrine, and you like that from Salmons. He's not shooting the ball well, but that time he hustled back and made the defensive play.
Well, that's a good job getting back and helping the defender. Derrick Rose trying to stop the dribble penetration of Rondo. Salmons doesn't just stay back, but he's paying attention. So once the blow-by occurs, active hands. And what I like even more so is the foul committed by Brian Scalabrine in transition. Derrick Rose has his team on his heels. Take the foul, force them to take it out of bounds.
Gordon dribbles it off his foot. No, they say off Ray Allen's foot.
And Coach, I'm shocked. Any thoughts about the headband of Brian Scalabrine?
Well, it's a medical thing. It's a medical issue coming back from concussion. But he does look like Will Ferrell on semi-pro. Okay? But I just hope he gets better from that. I mean, he was out for a long time with post-concussion syndrome.
He's made a lot of jokes with us about it. In fact, he said no Jackie Moon references. That was the character he played as Rose flips it up and in. But it's just great to see Scalabrine back on the court.
I like the fact that he understood who was doing the game. He understands there's going to be some jokes about you today, and he's a guy that embraces it.
Allen dribbles it off his foot. Here comes Tyrus Thomas. Picks it up. Nice pass. Salmons, who's fouled. And Salmons will shoot 2. Maybe that can get him going, getting to the free throw line.
Once again, Tyrus Thomas doesn't want to give Ray Allen the ability to lift for the jump shot, active hands, and then in transition, makes the proper decision. Salmons going to the line.
John Salmons, a Philly guy. Born in Philadelphia, high school in Philadelphia. He's a huge Sixer fan as a kid. Played his college ball at Miami of Florida. First round pick of San Antonio. Didn't play for them. His rights were traded to Philly, and he got his dream come true. He played for the 76ers. Played some playoff games with them a few years ago. Then spent some time with Sacramento. And now in his first season with the Chicago Bulls. And Ben Gordon was telling us the addition of Salmons and Miller, they went from playing on the worst team in the league in Sacramento to being hungry again, and their enthusiasm really helped. Count it, and a foul. Perkins took his time. Noah fouled him, and a chance for a three-point play.
Now you give that credit to Ray Allen. Handling the basketball under the pressure of Ben Gordon. Makes the proper decision. Comes off the pick and roll. He's trapped. delivers the ball on point, and then Perkins continues to play the proper way, takes the contact from Noah off of the pump fake, gets the basket, and going to the line for the possible three-point play.
Perkins, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 block shots. You know, people talk about the Celtics, and Danny Ainge said that. We want to send our best wishes to Danny. He's still recovering from the minor heart attack he suffered recently, but apparently he's doing very well. But he said that they're a better team because Perkins is better and Rondo is better. They might not have new guys, and they lost key guys like James Posey, and obviously Garnett's out. But these young players have really improved.
How can you play against Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett on a daily basis and not get better? It can't happen. Give credit to the veterans, but also the young guys for being willing listeners.
And I want to ask Mike, what is a minor heart attack? Is that something that happens to somebody else?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's like minor surgery. They say, hey, it's no problem. Go ahead. It's minor surgery. But Danny Ainge, seriously, I mean, this guy has done a great job here. I don't know necessarily if I agree with him that they're better this year. In fact, I disagree. But he is right. Rondo's gotten better. Perkins continues to improve. And the guy, to me, is Big Baby. He came from a second-round pick and was labeled an underachiever at LSU to being an achiever here with the Boston Celtics.
He's come a long way. He has performed so well. Davis misses. Perkins right there. Stripped. Knocked out of bounds. Chicago ball. And we'll have a timeout. Perkins battling every step of the way. Doc Rivers disagrees with the call. Bulls by 1.
The NBA playoffs on ABC. Brought to you by Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing.
Late second quarter, just over 2.5 remaining here in Game 4. The Bulls leading by 1. Coming up at halftime, Stuart Scott, John Barry, Michael Wilbon, and Magic Johnson. We'll have the T-Mobile halftime report. Paul Pierce's fave 5 players to watch growing up in Los Angeles. And also a conversation that Michael Wilbon had with Derrick Rose. And speaking of Derrick Rose, playing much better here, Jeff.
Well, he's gotten into the paint here. Semi-transition, good crossover, the great vision. The jump shot is improving from 17 feet to catch and go, wrap-around pass to Tyrus Thomas, and then when they deny you, go to the rim, good backdoor cut, and finish from the Rookie of the Year.
And had that great first game, and then struggled, had 7 turnovers in Game 3. And as we said, he's a hometown kid. Mark, you played in your hometown. It's not everybody can do it. What's the difficulty playing in your hometown?
You have to understand putting the right people around you. Who has an agenda and who has your best interest at heart. This is a quality young man that's all about getting better.
They're going to wave it off. The ball was on the cylinder when Thomas grabbed it. So offensive interference. You know, Rose speaks about his mom all the time as we look at the replay. Yep, the ball, that's a good call. Rose said one of the best things about playing in his hometown is he gets to see his mom almost every day. She cried the other night at the Rookie of the Year ceremony when he got the trophy from David Stern. Blocked by Thomas. His second. Perkins comes right back. Hendrick Perkins undeterred. And Boston back up by 1.
My mom would have cried after I got 7 turnovers.
Under 2 minutes remaining here in the second. So would your coach up. Your coach would have. Thomas. Boy, that's a wild shot. Rondo back to Pierce. Pierce for 3. Rondo, another rebound, his 6th rebound. He's averaging just under 11 a game in this series. Pierce puts it in. The Celtics back up by 3. Another low-scoring game. Chicago scored a lot the first 2 games, but only 86 points in Game 3. Hammered foul from behind. Rondo with the reach. That's his first.
And Paul Pierce still upset about not getting the calls. If you're Paul Pierce, continue to do what you're doing. The calls will come. Don't stop being aggressive. This is putting ball on the floor. There's a lot of contact, a lot of body. That should be an N1 for Paul Pierce. Upset, so is Doc Rivers. But you have to continue to play and be poised when it comes time to playoff basketball.
Pierce right now 3 of 10. He has 5 rebounds, 7 points. Said he didn't put his fingerprints on the series in the first 2 games. It just didn't seem like he had that zip. He had it in game 3. He's been off the mark so far in game 4. Salmons is a pretty good defensive player. Trying to play physical now with Pierce. Good help defense for Miller. Shot clock at 8. Rondo pulls up. Final minute here in the first half. Heinrich to Thomas. Thomas won't go, gets the rebound. His 7th board to go along with a couple of blocks as well. Well, certainly a different first half for Chicago than in game 3 when they got booed as they walked off the floor. The crowd very harsh the other night here at the United Center. Miller hits a 3. Miller's got good range for a big man, always a highly skilled big man, as Doc Rivers will call a 20-second timeout.
Good read by Kurt Heinrich. Dribble penetration, hands it off to the big man that shoot with range, and Brad Miller does what he does best.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell brings you game 3 of the Yankees and the Red Sox from Fenway Park tonight at 8 Eastern. Before the game, catch baseball tonight, driven by Chevy at 7 Eastern. Red Sox have won the first 2 games. Yankees need a victory up at Fenway, Yankee fan, right, Mark Jackson?
You don't have to rub it in my face. If you score that many runs, you got to find a way to get a win. Come on, Yankee pitching staff. You're better than that.
Middle relief.
I'm not rubbing it in. I'm a truth teller.
That's right. They were down 6-0. Or up 6-0, I should say.
One thing to watch, Vinny Del Negro says to his guys, we have a foul to give. Don't give it into active shooting.
Shot clock is off. Rondo goes at Heinrich, spins, kicks it out. Ray Allen, that's a 3. Knocks it down with 0.8 of a second to go.
Bad defense by Tyrus Thomas is not your place to help off of Ray Allen.
Thomas heaves it up. And
20-second timeout.
no, there was a 20-second timeout called by Vinny Del Negro before that attempt. So they'll put 0.8 back on.
That was a great screen by Brian Scalabrine and a very poor defensive switch. Good find by Rondo, and that's the problem with switching. A shot-blocking Tyrus Thomas is going to react to the penetration. If you switch and put him on Ray Allen, then he's going to come to the ball. To me, Ben Gordon, you got to fight through that, fight through it, and stay with the great shooting Ray Allen.
And you see Rondo once again, the penetration and able to throw it out there. Rondo with his 6th assist as Boston is back up by 1. And you look at the way it happened in game 3, they were never in the game. Chicago's got to feel pretty good, Mark, about the way they played in the first half overall.
Well, I actually think both teams have to be satisfied with where they are. But if you're the Bulls, a young team, you've played with energy, you've answered the call. Now it's about executing in the second half.
And meanwhile, Boston with Pierce struggling shooting the ball. I mean, they still have the lead right now.
Exactly. You know, their half-court defense the last 2 games on the road has been Celtic-like compared to the first 2 games where it was more of an offensive game.
Both teams shooting 41% from the field here in the first half. Not a lot of time. You can catch and shoot. Heinrich throws it down. Ball tipped. And that will end the first half. The 2 young point guards playing extremely well. Another superb all-around first half for Rondo. But Derrick Rose, the rookie for Chicago, also up to the task. And just a different Bulls team than what we saw in game 3. But the Celtics have the 1-point lead, and Paul Pierce is with Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Mike. Paul, it seems like both teams were taking turns throwing punches in that first half. What was going right for you guys?
Well, when we got the ball out in transition, able to get easy baskets, get stops, but we got to get back on the rebound. They're getting too many offensive rebounds right now.
The doc was saying that you weren't as aggressive as he needed you to be in that first quarter. What do you need to do differently in the second half?
Well, just take my time, see the game, get within the flow, and it'll come. I'm not worried about it.
All right, thanks a lot, Paul.
All right, Lisa. After the break, we'll check in with Stuart Scott, John Barry, Michael Wilbon, and Magic Johnson. It's the T-Mobile halftime report. We'll hear Paul Pierce's fave 5 players growing up in Los Angeles. And a conversation that Michael had with Derrick Rose yesterday. All coming up on the T-Mobile halftime report. It's game 4 of this first-round playoff series. The first 2 were nail-biters as they split 2 in Boston. Game 3 here in Chicago, a blowout, dominant victory by the Boston Celtics. So far in game 4, pretty close to 1-point Celtic lead.
Now it's time for the McDonald's I'm Loving It highlights.
We got to cut all those little things out because we're playing all right, but we're not playing great yet, all right? Once we start playing great and take away those little mistakes, this is over.
Back in Chicago, halftime of game 4 between the Bulls and the Celtics. Rajon Rondo playing impressively once again as we look at our first half stats. Presented by Corona. You see the shooting percentages in the low 40s. A key number for the Bulls, only 3 turnovers. They had 22 turnovers in game 3, but have really done a good job of protecting the basketball. It's one of the reasons they're only down by 1. And hello again, everyone, with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Mike Green on hand. We'll check in with Lisa Salters in just a minute. But overall, guys, for Chicago, they've got to feel pretty good. We heard Doc Rivers and what he was talking about. But the Bulls needed to bounce back in a big way, and they did. However, Jeff, for Boston, they still haven't figured out a way to stop Rajon Rondo.
Well, and Rondo got off to a great start in 21 first half minutes. He got more done in those minutes than most people do in a game. Here, a good push. Nice vision, good bounce pass, and then doesn't give up on the play on the Pierce miss and follows it up as one of the best rebounding guards in the game. And then the vision to see across the court for point guards is critical, particularly in transition. There hits the Paul Pierce spot up, and then a great use of his speed. Good body control for the three-point play.
This continues to put up terrific numbers across the board. Meanwhile, talk about vision to see for a 20-year-old rookie. It's so impressive. Derrick Rose, he's our Bud Light freeze frame, Mark. Again, very strong play from him.
Well, absolutely. I see your point guard vision, and I raise you one. Derrick Rose, stellar vision from the point guard position. Time and time again at his best when he pushed the ball in transition, looking to make plays, immediately recognizing where my guys are. Let me get to my spot and make the proper play. Forces help and then delivers the basketball to Miller. On the move, help has to come. Once again, that vision. Seam pass to Tyrese Thomas, constantly putting his guys in position to make plays. And then Kurt Heinrich turning down. I also can do this. Make shots.
Ball is deflected off Rondo. Rose brings it up the front. They wanted an 8-second violation, but he was across the timeline before it was deflected back. I think that was a good no call. Doc Rivers disagrees. Sounds gets inside. And his shot won't go, but drew a foul. And right now, let's check in with Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike, I asked Vinny Del Negro what he liked and what he didn't like about that first half. And he said he liked the ball movement much better. And the turnovers were down. He liked his team's energy. What he says he wants to change, second chance points. Got to cut those down. And we got to stop making those mental mistakes. I asked him about the play of Derrick Rose, and he said very solid. But he does want him to play Rondo better. But he said, on the other hand, I do like the way we're playing Paul Pierce. Mike?
Well, Pierce just 3 of 10. Rondo, you saw the numbers before. Now, that's part of the learning process, Mark. Which was harder for you as a rookie in the NBA? Was it running an offense or learning to play NBA defense?
What? That's not a question. That's a setup. Now you can give you your answer.
Well, you know, people don't understand my senior year at St. John's, I was the Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
That's
so
right.
Running a club came natural, but being serious, it was about playing defense on a professional level.
Think about those Big East coaches. John Thompson, Jim Boeheim, Rolly Massimino. What were they looking at?
Well, he had a big guy who's actually sitting across the court from us, Bill Wennington, who's the Bulls broadcaster. He was behind Mark, so Mark could take some chances because he had a big guy ready to block some shots.
I'll say what again? What? Bill Wennington?
Knocks it down.
No, I appreciate you trying to get my back, Mike, but that was an absolute joke. But I received the award, and I'm proud of it.
I mean, what that Louis Carnesecca ever got to stop with you and Wennington on the court together is incredible.
Okay, you're taking it too far now.
Gordon talking with Billy Kennedy. 3-point lead for the Bulls, so a quick start here to the third quarter.
But I think getting back to Derrick Rose defending Rondo, I don't think it's fair to say the damage that Rondo has done in the first half and in this series is not on Derrick Rose solely. It's about 5 guys getting back and containing the penetration of Rondo.
Well, I like where he picked him up on that possession. He played him at the free throw line. Why would you extend and let Rondo get running starts at you in transition? Pick him up in half court in transition at the free throw line or below. They can make jump shots.
Allen misfires. Pierce tried to tip it, and Noah the rebound. Here's Gordon. That's a two-pointer. Ben Gordon able to get it. He's got 10 points. Nice balance offensively for the Chicago Bulls.
And that's where the Celtics felt they had the most problems with Gordon. Wasn't in the half court, but his transition jump shots where they didn't get back and matched up.
Perkins throws it down. Perkins, the leading scorer in the game with 13.
And I agree with Coach. I think that's something that they should go to more often. If they're going to allow Noah to defend him one-on-one without help, the Celtics have an advantage.
Salmons took his eye off it. Shot clock at 7. Pierce fights over the screen. Salmons too much dribbling. Shot. Clock at 0, and there's a 24-second violation. Good defense from Paul Pierce.
And that's exactly what Vinny Del Negro was talking about. You have to have ball movement and man movement. Don't try to do it by yourself. And Salmon's this possession, it was all about himself trying to go at Paul Pierce.
Perkins against Noah. Davis. 5 on the 24. Allen. That three-pointer in and out. Battle for the rebound. Noah. Perkins knocked it away. They've let them play pretty much most of the game as Rondo flips it up. Off goal, Rose the rebound. Rose out of the pack. Too far ahead. Not a good pass. And a turnover. So already 3 turnovers in the third quarter for Chicago. They had 3 in the entire first half.
I like the pace that they're playing with, but you have to make these plays. Ben Gordon wide open all by himself. Derrick Rose, that's just a fundamentally sound, crisp pass to Ben Gordon in rhythm.
Rondo looking. Pierce, quick turnaround. Pierce now just 3 of 11 from the field.
I'd much rather see Paul put pressure on individual Bulls defenders to guard him.
Rose can't get it, gets his own rebound. Finds Thomas. Thomas blocked for the foul. And Perkins will pick up his third. Tyrese Thomas will go to the free throw line. Thomas has had a solid playoff series. And he's only 22 years old. This is his 3rd year. First round pick out of LSU. Portland picked him but traded him to Chicago for LaMarcus Aldridge. Only played 1 year of college ball. And again, he's got great athletic ability. But earlier this season, Vinny Del Negro said, hey, we asked him to sprint the floor. And to my knowledge in his career, he's only done it 1 time. Del Negro was very hard on him. Sat him down the end of the games. For a couple of stretches there, he didn't play very much. Thomas got the message. Second half of the season, he played much, much better, some of his best basketball.
Well, it is frustrating when guys who have physical gifts aren't willing to put in the effort it requires to be an effective NBA player, like running. Tyrese Thomas could be the best running big man in the NBA if he chose to be that.
Pierce fires away. That won't go. Perkins a rebound. Scott Skiles had the same problem with him, but he seems to have found a lot more consistency. Pierce draws the foul, and he'll go to the line.
And that's a much different play than a turnaround fadeaway jump shot. That time, Paul Pierce made his mind up that I'm going to create some contact. One-on-one, help comes late because the move was quick, forces the contact, and this is how a scorer gets going. Get to the foul line.
Well, Pierce has only taken 11 free throws in the first 3 games. This is his first trip to the line here this afternoon. Brings him back within 3. Celtics have opened up this third quarter, missing 8 of their first 9 shots, and for the game they're down to 36% shooting.
If I'm the Bulls, at some point, I have to think about stretching this lead. We have to go on a run because if you're the Celtics, this is a world championship team. They understand where they are. They're fine with where they are right now.
Nice pass at Thomas, although deflected. Here comes Rondo. Rondo drives, almost put it in. Felt the contact. Wise play from Rondo. And again, showing that terrific speed. Well, he'll shoot free throws with Boston down by 2. This is the first game of our doubleheader. Second game from the Palace of Auburn Hills. LeBron James and the Cavs looking for the sweep and to knock off the Pistons. They won on Friday night at the Palace.
Where I'm from, we call that sharp as a 6-pack of razor blades. I mean, he was clean. He was awfully clean.
I had no idea what that was about, but hey, I didn't grow up in the same neighborhood.
Obviously not.
Queens, New York.
Born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens.
Oh, okay, sorry.
They both claim me. You know, treat them fair. I'm fair but firm.
I don't think anyone's claiming you.
Game tied up at 52. Rondo 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Here's Salmons. Salmons having a tough afternoon. Although he's done a good job on Pierce. Salmons finally gets one to go. His first field goal, he's been 0 for 6.
But a much better move. He catches the ball where it's a quick move instead of dancing one-on-one. You can't show the Celtic team what you're trying to do offensively.
Ray Allen. Allen can't get it to go. He's just 3 of 8. There goes, steps back, short. And Rondo is 8th rebound of the game. Rondo's pass deflected by Rose. Miller couldn't handle it. And they're going to say it's Chicago ball. Maybe Rondo was along the baseline when he last touched it.
But going back to the previous play, when they switch a 5-man onto Derrick Rose, he's got to go back and study the film. I'm not taking jump shots and I'm not passing the ball early. I'm going to get in the paint. I'm going to back it up, attack Kendrick Perkins, and make him guard me.
Boy, the turnover's starting to mount here in the third quarter for Chicago. Tyrese Thomas jump shot won't go. Perkins with his 7th rebound. 5 third-quarter turnovers, and we're midway through the period for the Bulls after doing such a good job protecting the ball in the first half. And Miller just a little aggressive. Miller looks at Mark Davis. We thought Rondo put a little acting job as Miller picks up his 3rd. We're just past the midway point. Third quarter in Chicago. A 2-point game.
You can count on.
in Chicago. The Bulls leading the Celtics 54-52. They trail the series 2-1. Derrick Rose, the rookie point guard, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, but still has some things to learn, Jeff, right?
Well, I think he'll go back and study the game tape and say, hey, when they switch on me, I can't be anything but aggressive. Here, he sees the switch, back dribble, and attack Kendrick Perkins. Don't shoot the jump shot. That's exactly what they want him to do. And the man setting the picks also got to roll to the rim to give him more space so he can attack the big Boston.
Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Mike, that's exactly what Vinny Del Negro was telling his team in that last timeout. He said, don't settle for jump shots. We got to attack the rim. He said they get steals, they attack. We're settling for jump shots.
All right, Lisa, a rare mistake from Rondo, fouling Salmons, who was way ahead, able to put it in as Rondo picks up his second personal.
Bulls doing a great job of converging once Paul Pierce gets into the paint. But this is a bad play by Rondo. You either foul him and not allow him to get the basket, or you let him go. Gave Salmons the best of both worlds.
Who are you, Hannah Montana?
Meanwhile, the Boston Celtics shooting here in this third quarter, 1 of 10 from the field. Salmons has come alive, 7 points in the period. It's back up to 5 now for Chicago. And Salmons called for a foul, a little over aggressive on his defense on Pierce. And again, they've let them play. They've let a lot of contact go, but it's been consistent.
And I think if you're the Celtics, you realize now you're shooting the rest of the way, especially if you're Paul Pierce. Get the ball and get to your spot.
And those fouls are very frustrating to coaches because it's away from the basket. You're not really denying him the ball. It's only an extra half step that you're trying to push him out. So you got to know the penalty situation and not allow, as you said, Mark, earlier, great scorers like Pierce who's struggling to get a rhythm by getting to the free throw line.
Again, Pierce didn't play great basketball in the first 2 games. He still averaged over 20 a game. For his career in the playoffs, only Larry Bird averages more points a game in postseason play as a Celtic. Here's his second. John Havlicek, number 3. Heinrich, jump shot. Noah with the tip. Joakim Noah with the offensive board, and it's back to 5.
That's what you want from your big guys. Athleticism and be active.
Pierce, nice fake, kind of gets Salmons out of the way. Salmons does a good job recovering. There's Perkins, rushed it. Noah the rebound. Heinrich pushes. Heinrich, the jump shot. This equals the largest lead of the game. It's been close throughout. We've had 15 lead changes in this game. And a crowd getting on its feet here at the United Center. Shot clock at 4. Perkins inside. Draws the foul. And then pushes Noah. Little shove. I don't know if the officials saw that. Noah started to go at him, and his teammates intercepted.
And this is what Noah has to do. Put pressure on the Celtic bigs to block him out. Use that length and athleticism. Offensive rebound.
Miller just picked up his 4th foul. And Perkins to the line. And Perkins, it seems like he's been around so long. He's only 24 years old. This is his 6th year in the league. One of those players who went right from high school to the NBA.
And he and Noah, to me, are a perfect example of why you have to have patience with young big guys. You see them both in their rookie years, and it's hard to project them as being starting centers for playoff teams, and particularly for Perkins, being a starting center on a championship caliber team. And that's where organizational patience, particularly with big guys, is so critical.
Salmons to Thomas. Thomas gets a closer shot, knocks it down. 11 points for Thomas. 4 players in double figures for Chicago. Nearly stolen. Ray Allen asking Pierce to come down and help with this full court pressure. Vinny Del Negro's team has responded after the blowout loss in Game 3. Under 4 to play, third quarter. Allen, Rondo banks it in. Nice play from Ray Allen.
I like the pressure that the Bulls are doing, extending the Celtics, but you have to realize also, you don't want to get cheap fouls and allow them to get to the line. So you want to play solid basketball in the defensive end.
Don Salmons. Thomas against Scalabrine, and foul on the way to the basket won't count. And the Celtics not on the penalty yet as Scalabrine picks up his third.
Tyrese Thomas has played very well all afternoon long. And Doc Rivers looks at Scalabrine and says, hey, we don't want to allow Thomas to get to his left hand. Force him to his strong arm.
Well, he's leading all players in the postseason in block shots. Thomas with a couple of them, actually has 3 of them here today. Had 6 in Game 2. Gordon tied up, 4 on the shot clock. Gordon has to put it up, has it knocked away, gets it back and knocks it down. Stays with the play. Ray Allen on the drive. Deflected by Salmons. Here's to Allen, the 3. Won't go, but a foul. And Thomas runs into Allen, and it should be 3 free throws coming up as Thomas picks up his second.
Ben Gordon, you see the trap. Kendrick Perkins does his job. If you're Ray Allen, you have to stay in between. Gordon and the basket does not. Gordon picks it up. Aggressiveness pays off.
Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
What's good? I'm Stuart Scott with the Sports Center right now. Game 2 of our doubleheader features the top-seeded Cavs who can bring out the brooms and sweep away the Pistons with the win. And think about this. Teams up 3-zip are perfect 85-0 in NBA history. Later tonight, flip over to ESPN for Sunday Night Baseball. Red Sox go for the home sweep against their arch-rival Yankees. Coverage begins with Baseball Tonight, live from Fenway Park at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now let's go back to Chicago. Mike, Mark, Jeff, and Lisa.
Stewart, Michael Jordan's statue outside the United Center. He'd be proud of the Bulls right now, up by 7. Let's hear some recent huddles from the coaches.
They get steals, they attack the rim. We get steals, we take jump shots. We got to keep attacking.
Offensively, if we just trust each other, all right? Ray, I'm telling you, every time we over dribble, nothing good happens. Nothing. They just load up.
And you look at the numbers as Ray Allen will go to the free throw line. What a huge difference from Game 3. Our BlackBerry game track. Bulls got blown out on their home floor in Game 3. Poor shooting percentage. The turnovers huge. 22, only 7 so far today. As Allen getting 3 free throws off the missed three-pointer, but fouled by Tyrese Thomas. They're now 10 for 10 from the line here in the third. And that's huge because they can't hit anything from the field.
Exactly. Poor discipline when it comes to fouling has kept Boston right in the game.
18 free throw attempts for the Celtics, 10 for the Bulls. Just over 2.5 remaining third quarter. Rose. Heinrich went one way. Ben Gordon trying to keep loose as he waits to come back in. Think anybody recognizes him under the towel? Rondo looking, gets it to Perkins. Perkins can't get it to go, and no other rebound. Rose drives, stripped by Rondo. Pierce picks it up. Stripped by Heinrich, back to Ray Allen. Pierce to Scalabrine. Perkins back to Scalabrine. Cutting, gets it to Rondo. Good teamwork there from the Celtics.
If you're the Bulls, you have to get good possessions on the offensive end. Not take care of the basketball. You allow a championship team to hang around.
And it's back to 2. Heinrich, Noah. Noah drives in, lost it. Chicago so sloppy with the ball here this third quarter. 8 turnovers. That's the other part that's keeping the Celtics in, despite the poor shooting from the field. Shot clock at 6. Pierce with a hand in his face, knocks it down. Just his 4th field goal, but it ties the game on a 7-0 run. Rose calls it out. Rose with a bunch of turnovers here in the third. Salins switches to the left hand. Can't get it to go. Ball tipped by Thomas out of bounds. And the Celtics will get it back.
Well, not a great offensive possession by Boston. Going against what Doc Rivers really wanted, which was ball movement. Pierce was able to create something out of really nothing.
Final minute, third quarter. You think the Bulls were badly outplaying them here in this third, but it's a tie game after that 7-point lead. Pierce, that's a 3. Knocks it down. 10 straight points by the Celtics. And this building has become very quiet once again. Salmons tries to reverse. Not a good shot. He wanted a foul. Just kind of was hoping and praying on that one.
Well, this third quarter has been about one team executing on both ends of the floor and the other team not.
Salmons 2 for 10.
And to me, going into the fourth quarter, Derrick Rose has to be more aggressive in getting into the paint.
Pierce another hand in his face. He got hit. Salmons with his 3rd personal, and Pierce will go back to the line. And what you said, Jeff, Celtics really struggling from the field, but they're getting bailed out.
And frustration fouls, which is what Salmons just committed, because he thought he was fouled on the other end. He commits one down here. It's a double-edged sword. I mean, that's hitting the guy on the elbow.
Boston 11 for 11 from the line here in the period. 17 of 18 for the game. And Pierce getting himself on track because of his trips to the free throw line. He had not been to the line in the first half. He's 6 for 6. So check that 5 for 5 here in the third.
If I'm the Bulls, one way to score in the fourth quarter is a guy that can create his own offense, which is Ben Gordon. But a lot of attention being paid right now to that left leg of Ben Gordon on the bench.
Here's it's a pair. 5-point Celtic lead. 7.9 remaining. Rose tied up momentarily. Good defense from the Celtics. Final seconds. Rose gets in, flips it up, won't go, and that will end the third quarter. The Boston Celtics end on a 12-0 run. And Paul Pierce, who was struggling early, scores 11 points in that third quarter. Pierce hit some jumpers, got to the free throw line, and after trailing by 7 early, the Celtics finished strong. This presentation of the NBA playoffs on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Fourth quarter coming up, Celtics by 5.
Head coach Vinny Del Negro. Vinny, you guys got up to a 7-point lead in that quarter, then gave it back and are now down by 5. What changed?
Well, I think our ball movement, we didn't execute on the offensive end. Our ball movement got very stagnant. Have to move the ball better and then attack. Too many jump shots, and we got to attack the rim better.
And you guys protected the ball really well in that first half. 8 turnovers in that third quarter. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think guys are just trying to make too hard of plays right now. We got to make the easy plays, easy passes, and just kind of keep our composure a little bit.
All right, thanks for your time. Mike?
All right, Lisa, if the Chicago Bulls want to get the victory and tie this series as opposed to going back to Boston down 3-1. They've got 12 minutes down by 5. And a foul on Heinrich before the ball was inbounded. And he grabbed the hole, so 2 free throws. The ball not alive yet. Heinrich arguing with Mark Davis. Let's take a look.
2 shots.
Well, on that particular replay, tough to see, but Mark Davis right there saying he's grabbing the jersey. So Rondo will go to the free throw line. Celtics 19 of 20 from the line.
And Mike, what you never want to do is beat yourself. And when you turn the ball over excessively and you foul needlessly, those are 2 critical areas where you beat yourself. And to me right now, Chicago is having as much to do with their own demise as Boston is.
Rondo goes back and hits the second. Negro going down his bench. He's going to bring Brad Miller back in. 6-point lead right now for the Boston Celtics. Heinrich, that's a 3. Celtics didn't get out on him, and that was a huge bucket. Bulls needed that one.
And you see the advantage of Ben Gordon. Didn't try to do anything special. Took the double team and delivered the ball on point.
Gordon back in. Here's Scalabrini. Stolen by Heinrich. Heinrich down the other end. And it's a 1-point game. Just like that. Heinrich, an excellent defensive player. And gives the Bulls that little spark to start the 4th. Rondo gets inside and lays it in.
So good at getting to his spots. Playing angle basketball.
Rose kicks it out. Heinrich lost it momentarily. Inside to Rose. Rose finding Noah, and he's hammered by Scalabrini. 4 fouls on Scalabrini. And Noah will go to the line. Glenn Davis back in.
And Noah looks at Rose and says, my fault. He's 100% right. You have to make Rondo a jump shooter. He doesn't seal off the lanes, allows Rondo to turn the corner and get all the way to the cup. Defending the pick and roll, the pressure's on the big guy to buy the point guard a second.
And Noah has one of the strangest free throws forms that you'll find, but he's actually shot the ball pretty well from the free throw line during the regular season and gets that one to go. 68%, which is not bad considering. Kind of a two-handed shot. That's odd. Overall, though, 5.7 rebounds. It's a pair there. Just over a minute gone by here in the 4th. A 1-point Boston lead. Chance of defense from the crowd, and Gordon called for the foul.
And this is Rondo running his team. This isn't a call from Doc Rivers. Recognizes that Ben Gordon is defending Paul Pierce. Get Scalabrini out of the way and take advantage of the mismatch.
Second team foul. Gordon obviously not happy with the call.
This is just running a team. This is a point guard. Says, get out of there. No sets. I see something I want to expose. Get the ball into the hands of your home run hitter. Everybody out of the way.
Rondo again looking to get it to Pierce, who's being guarded by Heinrich. Pierce wants it. Single coverage. Pierce finds Davis in a 24-second violation. Waited too long.
Yeah, and Heinrich is the right matchup versus Pierce. Ben Gordon is not the right matchup. Heinrich can guard 3 positions, and to me, that's what makes him very, very valuable going forward with Chicago.
Heinrich gets inside. Deflected by Eddie House. And another turnover. Davis throws it away, and then a hard foul, and some pushing and shoving afterwards. A technical foul has been called on Miller for the shove on Davis. They may call a flagrant on Davis. He made a bad play throwing it back underneath the basket. Miller was right there, took exception to the foul. And I think we're going to see, the officials have a conference, but I think we're going to see a flagrant foul call on Davis. Bad mistake there. And then Miller tries the retaliation. Danny Crawford, the crew chief, has officiated almost 200 playoff games. He's going to tell the scorers table what's going on. When you come down hard, kind of a wind up and follow through, those sometimes result in a flagrant.
Was that a flop by Big Baby? I didn't see one. I mean, first of all, I don't think that's a flagrant foul. But what is that?
Flagrant foul called on Brad Miller. Who's been ejected from the game.
Miller's been ejected from the game.
For that?
So it's only a personal foul on Davis. They didn't call a flagrant on him. But with Miller's retaliation, he's ejected from the game. He's called for a flagrant now. Now, the officials, because of the new rule, are able to look at it. Now that's close to a flagrant, I think.
Well, I totally agree with Coach. I don't think that's a flagrant foul because the ball is right there. So he is making that it's not a three-point play for Brad Miller.
But a flagrant has nothing to do with where the ball is. It's in terms of the windup, the impact, and the follow. Maybe they just think
he just walked in and he turned into him. If they throw him out for that, I mean, I just, you know, you could say, you can give me all the language about flagrant fouls, about unnecessary. I don't even know what that means. Isn't all contact unnecessary? I mean, that's not a flagrant foul to me. But if they want to call it to keep control of the game, fine. You do not eject a guy in the fourth quarter for something like this. He didn't headbutt him.
No, but if you're Brad Miller, that is a technical foul. That's not something to be tossed out for.
Right. Technical foul, yes.
Which was the initial call. You see Danny Crawford right away with the technical foul. And
I give Big Baby a lot of credit, though. If he would have just reacted like he was on the streets in Louisiana, he wouldn't even have moved on this. But he's learned that flopping gets you somewhere in this league.
Big Baby, they may have a future in the WWF for Big Baby.
So again, Danny Crawford conferring with Mark Davis and Billy Kennedy. Miller is still on the court, but the announcement from the public address announcer was that the flagrant was called on Miller and that he was ejected from the game. Now it's a check, and that's smart officiating. They look at the replay, and it's not a flagrant to eject it. It's a technical foul, so good work from Crawford.
Well, but also give the NBA credit for allowing them to go back and review the situation. All these uses of instant replay have been a positive for the NBA.
Well, that's a great point, because years ago, Brad Miller's in the locker room upset, and you worry about it the day after a wrong call. At least the Bulls still have life, and they still have their big.
And from the official standpoint, that sometimes is the hardest play to call, because bodies are all over. You don't know sometimes who made the initial shove or the initial punch, if there's a punch thrown. Obviously not there. And Crawford and his crew did a good job. Having that instant replay rule was perfect, and Miller stays in the game. So instead of flagrant with 2 shots and the ball and an ejection, it's a 1-shot technical, and Miller stays in the game, and he goes shoots his free throws on the personal foul.
That is an absolute clinic on how to work as a group refereeing in professional sports.
Yeah, Miller hits a pair of free throws. We're all tied up with 10 minutes to go.
And as a team, you have to know the next 3 minutes will be refereed very closely. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand that the #1 job of an official is to keep control of the game.
Heinrich, good defense on Pierce. Ahead to Thomas. Thomas the drive. Misfires. Miller the rebound. Ben Gordon trying to get on track, gets inside, floats it up, misses, rebound tipped by Thomas, won't go, and a loose ball foul against the Celtics. Davis picks up his 3rd. Celtics 3 team fouls. Well, Davis is now, of course, for the rest of the afternoon, public enemy number 1 in this building. Heinrich for 3, and he got hit. 3 free throws coming up as Pierce called for the foul. Heinrich, who's got 14 points off the bench, one of 5 Bulls in double figures, will shoot 3. An excellent free throw shooter, and he misses the first. Yep, so he got him on the arm. More on the hand, but Heinrich knocks down the second.
Ray Allen back for the Celtics.
Here's 2 fouls. Ray Allen will come in and Pierce will sit. Kirk Heinrich doing a good job on Pierce defensively. Heinrich, a former All-NBA defensive second team member. How about that, though? Misses 2 out of 3. You mentioned Heinrich, a good free throw shooter, 79% during the regular season. Bulls by 1. Heinrich now on Ray Allen. Eddie House gets loose and throws up nearly an air ball, and Rose is fouled by Rondo. 3 fouls on Rondo. And the Celtics in the penalty with 9:04. And this is a Bulls team that this year set a franchise record for team free throw percentage in a single season.
When we take a look at Paul Pierce, and I really believe one of the reasons Doc Rivers takes him out of the ball game is because he feels his team got away from running offense. They almost put the ball in the hands of Paul Pierce and trusted that he was going to make a play. It's not time right now for that. Continue to trust your offense.
But now they've missed 3 of their last 4 from the line. You see Coach Garnett sitting on the sidelines. That's what Doc Rivers been calling him.
That's got to be absolutely painful for Kevin Garnett. Having a chance to defend your crown, and you're not even able to participate.
One of the great competitors this game has seen. I agree, Jeff. He's got to be dying inside. Allen for 3. It's good. Ray Allen from way downtown. The quick release. Celtics back up 1. Rose to the basket.
And you see the difference that time. Kept his dribble live. Was able to go by Big Baby and get to the cup.
Cam said, let's go Bulls. Tyrus Thomas, a silly foul there as he bumped Rondo.
You're defending Ray Allen. If you're the big guy, a screen is set. You have to be ready to contest. Tyrus Thomas too late, pays the price. And how about the other part of that trio as Derrick Rose does a good job. Low by, gets to the cup. Bulls setting his stamp. But how about old reliable, the champs in green.
Playoffs on ABC. Brought to you by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling.
Back in Chicago, 8:23 remaining, a 1-point game. Bulls with the slight edge. Lots of playoff action coming up, including tonight. Doubleheader on TNT, couple of game 4s. Philly leading 2-1, Houston leading 2-1 of those series. Monday on NBA TV, Denver at New Orleans, Nuggets up 2-1. Then Friday on ESPN, could have some great game 6s. And then next Sunday, a doubleheader on ABC. Either some great game 7s or some game 1s of the second round. Let's listen to a recent huddle.
This ain't supposed to be easy, all right? We gotta have mental toughness right now. Mental toughness. Stick together. Stop feeling bad for yourselves.
Well, they had mental toughness all last year, winning the NBA championship without Kevin Garnett, their mental toughness leader. See how they fare on the road. Davis knocks it down. Glenn Davis with a big bucket. Just his second field goal.
And again, good read by Rondo. Dribble penetration, kicking it out to the big guy for the spot-up jet.
7 assists for Rondo. Rose drives it. Eddie House switches and puts it in. Gorgeous move by the rookie.
And I would keep running that until they stop switching, because if Derrick Rose has Eddie House guarding him, he can get in the paint anytime he wants.
Rondo looking, keeps his dribble. And Miller bumps him. Rondo does a good job falling down. There's no question there's contact, but Rondo helps it. And that's 5 fouls on Miller.
Well, they set a screen on the ball to get the switch. Rose, good ability to blow by. Perkins can't really come all the way over to help because Miller, the shooting big, is in the strong side corner.
Rose has a bunch of turnovers, has 5, but he just keeps coming right back. Rondo comes right back and flips it in. A little English off the backboard.
We are watching 2 special point guards get after it.
And again, Rose just 20, and Rondo only 23. Rose gets in the paint, looking, kicks it out to Thomas, the baseline jumper. 24 lead changes in this one as the Bulls up by 1. And still 7 minutes remaining. House looking. Pierce still on the bench right now for the Celtics. He gets up. He's going to come in the next whistle. Rondo looks up at the shot clock. Rondo, the jump shot. Long rebound. Heinrich tips it to himself. Boston led by 6 earlier here in the 4th quarter. Rose to the basket. Puts it in. Derrick Rose does it again.
And miscommunication. Eddie House was planning on switching. Rondo did not. You must have the guy setting the screen tell you what to do. That time allowing Rose to get to the cup.
7 of his 17 already here in the 4th quarter. Perkins lost it. Heinrich picks it up. Here comes Chicago.
And it's about pulling it out, get the ball into the hands of Rose, and continue to run the same thing until they make the proper adjustment.
17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Rose drives at Allen, stops, and he just dragged his pivot foot. He doesn't think so. That's a close call as the Bulls turn it over. What a terrific young player, Mark Jackson.
Makes you appreciate our young rookie point guard in the studio, Magic Johnson, and what he did so many years ago, because Derrick Rose is that special. The ability to put his team on his back when it matters most. Making mistakes early, but finishing off the right way. Paul Pierce has no choice but to watch from the sideline.
Just past the midway point, 4th quarter, game 4. Bulls trying to tie this series up. Right now, they lead by 3. Doesn't really matter when they play, whether it's in the Bronx, whether it's in Boston, always fun, the Yankees and the Red Sox. And coming up tonight on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Some fairly even numbers there. Meanwhile, a rivalry might be developing between Rajon Rondo and Derrick Rose, the 2 terrific point guards, both putting on a show. And what right now is a 3-point game.
And I like what Vinny Del Negro adjusted to with the pick and roll of Rondo. They've trapped him to make it harder for him to turn the corner.
Ray Allen, that's a 3, tie game. Allen hit some huge threes to win game 2 in Boston.
And they ran that same action earlier in the game from Eddie House to get a wide open 3. Good call by Doc Rivers.
Allen with 18 points. Rose on the drive, deflected by Pierce. He's trying to feign that he never touched it.
They did a good job here running a pick and roll and then having Big Baby Dave simultaneously set the pin down for Ray Allen. Good delivery, good execution by the Celtics.
Shot clock at 4. Thomas sees that. Ben Gordon looking. Gordon has to hoist it up. Barely hits the rim. Here comes Rondo. One man to beat. It's Rose. Sidesteps up and under. Puts it in. Sensational move from Rondo.
What a spectacular finish by Rondo. How good is this young man?
23 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists for Rondo. Throwing a couple of steals as well. Thomas jump shot. And Perkins the rebound.
To me right now, they need a big man who can make a jump shot because they're not going to allow on pick and rolls Derrick Rose to turn the corner.
Miller on the bench with 5 fouls. He's the big man that can do it. Ray Allen left open again. And a push called on Perkins, a loose ball foul. And for the Celtics, they're in the penalty, so free throws coming up for Chicago.
And you see once again chasing down a loose ball, and mama, there goes that man. Rondo eluding Derrick Rose. Phenomenal finish. How good has this guy been? I actually voted for him most improved. He has taken the jump from okay to very good.
I think right now he's better than very good the way he's played in this series.
Well, after very good is great.
Okay. I like that. You're saving it only for special moments. Noah misses badly on that free throw. And as we said earlier in the telecast, Paul Pierce has said Rondo is their MVP this year.
I'm watching the Bulls defense, and I give Ben Gordon the explanation. Maybe he's not 100% because right now he is dying on screens, laying on screens, allowing Ray Allen. Got away with that last shot. That's a wide open look. Ben Gordon not fighting through screens.
And a very interesting move by Del Negro, putting John Salmons in as a 4-man to give Rose more space on the other end of the floor. But it does take away shot blocking and rebounding.
And he's guarding Glenn Davis. Inside pass to Rondo. Beautiful feed. Big Baby. And the Celtics back up by 3.
A good read by Big Baby. Not falling in love with the jump shot. Making the extra pass.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining. Rose has Perkins on him. Wants to take him off the dribble. Gets past inside. Lefty layup. Banks it in. Rose answers back.
Coach, that's exactly what you was talking about. Backpedal and make a play.
No question. Use your speed. And if I'm Perkins and I am going to switch, I'm going to keep backing up and make that guy make jump shots.
Rose 9 points here in the fourth quarter. 1-point game again. Davis jump shot. Puts it in. That's the biggest part of his game he's worked on. Big Baby.
How about Doc Rivers was getting ready to put in Brian Scalabrine 2 plays ago. But Big Baby makes 2 plays and he calls them back.
Rose again with Perkins on him. Takes him to the basket. Drives in. Offensive foul. Glenn Davis draws the charge. There's somebody who appreciates good defense.
That's 3 straight plays by Big Baby Davis. 2 on the offensive end and defensively. Stepping in, taking a hit, and Brian Scalabrine. How many guys would be upset? He's over there, the biggest cheerleader, jumping up and down.
He just got that right heel out of the restricted area. And Kevin Garnett, he hyperventilates when he's even not playing. Proud of his team's defense there. For Derrick Rose, his 3rd foul. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining. Pierce stripped by Heinrich. And still Celtic ball with 10 on the clock. Pierce thought he was fouled.
I love the job that Kurt Heinrich has done on Paul Pierce.
Kirk Heinrich, if he was a starter and played big minutes, which he doesn't do anymore, he'd always be in contention for all defensive second team.
Made it that one time, as we said, as Rondo sets up. Shot clock at 6. Rondo to Davis. Davis another jump shot. That one no go. Perkins though, the offensive rebound. Offensive foul. Using the arm to wrap around. As Perkins picks up the personal, that's his 5th. A timeout. The 2 young point guards. Superb performance under the playoff pressure. 3-point game with under 3 to play. Back in Chicago, Bulls trailing by 3, just under 3 remaining in the 4th. What does the number 42, a bus full of hostages and a cop killer have in common? One of the most unusual cases yet. Life as a New York City cop, a 24-hour job, and life in the 2nd Precinct is always unusual. The Unusual, all new episode Wednesday at 10, 9 Central on ABC. Rajon Rondo continues his tremendous performance going up against the rookie Derrick Rose. Mark Jackson.
So you talk about Rose and Rondo, reminisce a little bit. Anything you can do, I can do better. Time and time again, both guys spectacular on the offensive end. Continue to put pressure on the defense in transition. High pick and roll, switch, you must pay the price. Rose and Rondo, nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, you look, Rondo, 2 assists shy of his 2nd triple-double of the series, but the turnovers for Rose have hurt.
Well, they've hurt big time. You know, you're giving up, if you average basically a point or a little bit more per possession, what you're doing in a close game is giving away 7 points or a little bit more, and that's the difference in this game.
You see both teams with multiple timeouts, neither team with a foul to give. Celtics trying to take that commanding 3-1 lead in the series. Bulls looking to tie. Gordon reverse, lays it in. Gordon to the basket. Tweaked his hamstring earlier. He hasn't been the same since, but a big bucket there.
And if I was Chicago, I would think of hitting Rondo with a trap right over half court with one of my big guys to disrupt his flow.
Pierce has had his flow disrupted by Heinrich. One dribble, pull-up jumper, no good. Rondo another rebound, inside to Davis. Misses the layup, and Miller the rebound. Point-blank range from Davis. Rose goes at Perkins, spins, pivots, layup, banks it in. Bulls back on top. Sensational move from the rookie.
Great job of keeping his pivot foot down and spinning around Kendrick Perkins.
11 of his 21 points here in this 4th quarter. Under 2 to play. Pierce, double team, gets inside, knocked out of bounds, off his leg. Chicago ball. Pierce wanted a foul. Rose ahead to Heinrich.
That's a good job. Get the ball in the hands of Rose and continue to run the same stuff.
Many of the fans here at the United Center, a crowd on their feet. Gordon drives. Gordon tied up. Inside, batted away. Perkins with the knock. And Allen picks up the shot, or picks up the errant ball. Allen on the drive, blocked by Gordon, but a foul.
But at the moment of truth, Chicago off a turnover, plenty of time to get back. They're running to try to trap Ray Allen. He gets away. The wall is not built at the lane. So you put a 90, what is he shooting this year? 94, 5, whatever it is, automatic at the line for Boston to take the lead.
Over 95% in the playoffs. He's 15 for 15 from the line. 1:13 remaining.
You know, if I'm coaching Derrick Rose, the one thing I don't want him to do is think. I want him to play the game on instinct. Put the ball in his hands and trust that he's going to get a quality look either for himself or for his teammate.
That's what Vinny Allegro told him after game 3. Allen misses a free throw. Rondo nearly saves it and does. Throws it off Salmons, and the Celtics get a new possession.
Inexcusable by John Salmons. Expecting the ball to go in like everyone else in the arena. Rondo, great job in not giving up on the play. Great extra possession by Rondo.
Yeah, Rondo sets it up as we come up on a minute remaining in a tie game. Offensive foul. Perkins, he's done. That's his 6th. And Scalabrine will come back in. That's a big loss. Perkins so solid, 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 block shots. Obviously, he didn't mean to trip him up, but by moving on the screen, Gordon fell over him.
You can't extend your leg outside of your body, what your normal body stance would be. That's a good call.
That's a good job by you reading the manual.
Although I don't like that call. I'm wrong. I hate that call. Technically, that may be right. That's a bad call with a minute left to go in this game, the tie game.
Perkins will now sit. Meanwhile, Derrick Rose making some big plays down the stretch. He's made some tough turnovers as well. But how about this move, Mark Jackson?
And this is the move that they should go to. Pick and roll with Derrick Rose. Time and time again, we talked about it. Make a play. Kendrick Perkins is defending you. Outstanding job of keeping his dribble alive.
And the expression never changes. You talk to him. His humility is off the charts. He's got a chance to be a special player. He gave himself a B- this year. And in the Rookie of the Year, he said, I had too many turnovers and we didn't win enough games. You just love the attitude of this 20-year-old. And as we look at the Eastern Conference, the second game of our doubleheader coming up, Cavs go for the sweep. But all three of the other series, talk about competitive series in the first round. A big game tonight in Philadelphia. Orlando trying to tie it up. There's LeBron James and the Cavs. So impressive in the first three games. They won with a big fourth quarter on Friday night at the Palace at Auburn Hills, and they go for the sweep. Coming up next on ABC. 91-91, 106 remaining here in the fourth. And the Bulls tie this series up and go back to Boston even at 2-2. You know, it's fun how hard you see the teams play in the playoffs. It's almost like a different sport with the energy and the intensity once the postseason comes. But it's always extra special when you have that matchup of young point guards or any real matchup. But Rondo and Rose, what a fun matchup to watch.
Well, it was a lot of fun because we built it up, and these guys did not disappoint. Playing stellar basketball, and if I'm Vinny Del Negro, I'm putting the ball in the hands of my young point guard.
Let's look at the numbers down the line. Filling up a box score. Gordon will inbound. Gordon, Rose, Miller, Salmons, and Heinrich. The three guards out there. Actually, four guards, you count Salmons in many ways. Rose looking. Davis has him. Rose makes his move to the basket. Flips it up. Won't go. And a blocking foul called. Free throws coming up for Rose. 5 fouls on Scalabrine.
Big Baby Davis does a poor job trying to strip Derrick Rose. Looks like Brian Scalabrine got there, but got there late.
And it's also how Rose tried to avoid the contact. So instead of the body blow happening right into his chest, he tried to slide by, and I think that got him the call.
Rose, a good free throw shooter, 79% in his rookie season. It's close. Rose does a good job avoiding hitting him directly in the middle of his torso. Nice adjustment.
And Big Baby going for the strip like he got earlier in the game allowed him to have a total blow-by.
2-point lead.
I'm looking at this Bulls lineup, and all of a sudden now Heinrich has to defend Ray Allen, so you're leaving Salmons on him. I think that's a poor decision, especially the job that Heinrich has done all afternoon long.
The crowd rising here at the United Center. They want to stop their team up by 2. Pierce, double team to Davis. Davis blocked, but a foul.
And that was a poor decision on help by Tyrese Thomas. Heinrich had Pierce under control. He helped up from the baseline, which led to an easy pass to Big Baby Davis. Right there, you don't need help. No double team.
Well, Davis will go to the line and hits the first one. Davis 2 for 2 from the line here this afternoon. During the regular season, 73%. Excuse me, that was his first free throw attempt. Tie game. Clutch free throws from both sides. As Davis, who's been quiet scoring, has 6 points here in the fourth. And a timeout call by Vinny Del Negro with 35 seconds remaining. Again, neither team with a foul to give. A reminder, congratulations to the winners of this year's Performance Awards presented by Kia Motors. Dwight Howard, Defensive Player of the Year. Jason Terry, Sixth Man of the Year. Of course, Derrick Rose, Rookie of the Year. Go to NBA.com/awards to see highlights from Howard and Jason's award-winning season and see who's in the running for the upcoming awards. Mike Brown, of course, the coach, and as we mentioned, Rose, the Rookie of the Year, the MVP still to come, although I think it's not going to be a big surprise.
And this is an interesting decision for Del Negro. Do you go 2 for 1 right here and try to get a shot off in 5 or 6 seconds, or do you go for one quality shot?
Well, for me, if I'm Doc Rivers, I defend. First of all, I expect a quality possession for the Bulls, but if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm not switching the pick and roll. They're used to that. Now, all of a sudden, I want to keep Rondo on the body of Derrick Rose.
Chicago down to 1 timeout remaining. They have 1:20 left. And again, 35 seconds on the game clock. Tony Allen comes in for the first time this afternoon. Allen in for defensive purposes. He's out there with Rondo, Davis, Ray Allen, and Pierce.
And Tony Allen historically has made some critical fouls late in the game.
He's on Gordon. Ben Gordon on the drive. Gordon to the basket. Banks it in. What a shot from Gordon. Well, the Bulls go up by 2. Timeout Celtics. Tough shot from Gordon with 2 Celtics all over him.
And I guess that answers your question. Vinny Del Negro decided to get a quick hitter. Going 2 for 1, putting the ball in the hands of Ben Gordon, one of the best scorers in the entire league. Does a good job. That's good defense, but Gordon just better offense. The bank is open on Sunday afternoon.
That is such a difficult shot. Gordon, who had that explosive 42-point performance in Game 2. 16 here this afternoon. Celtics defended him well.
That was very well defended. You know, Big Baby maybe could have corralled him and contained him a little bit more, but still, all in all, that was a difficult shot.
So now it's the Celtics' turn with the ball. Down by 2, 31.2 seconds remaining. And Boston with a chance to tie or take the lead. All right, Jeff, what do you look for the Celtics?
Well, to me, I would think they would go their bread and butter play, 1-3 pick and roll, Rondo and Paul Pierce.
I also expect them to put a shooter in the game as far as Eddie House, so it allows Paul Pierce much more room. And if they help double team, guys have to pay the price.
The Bulls do not have any fouls to give. So any foul sends the Celtics to the free throw line.
And you also have to think, Mike, is Doc Rivers, being down a big man in Kendrick Perkins, going to go for a Ray Allen 3? You know, the three-point shot won Game 2, so you have to always consider that. And right now, if you're Chicago, you cannot give up a three-point shot here.
Second game of our doubleheader coming up. Cavs and Pistons just tipped off. 31 seconds remaining in this one. Game 5 will be Tuesday back in Boston. Will it be 2-2? Or will the Celtics have a chance to close it out on their home floor? Right now, the defending champs down by 2.
One thing I don't like is Tyrese Thomas defending Eddie House. His nature is to be a shot blocker. You can't help. You have no help responsibility defending Eddie House.
Heinrich on Pierce. He's done an excellent job on Pierce. Ball in Rondo's hands. Crowd on its feet. Allen looking. Allen driving. Finds Davis. Reverse layup. Missed it. Thomas the rebound. They've got to foul him. And Rondo fouls Thomas with 16.6 remaining. Davis had a great look, but it wouldn't go down.
And to me, Tyrese Thomas has to pass that ball. He had Derrick Rose right there. Get the ball in your best free throw shooter's hands.
Good execution by Ray Allen. The trap by Salmon has no choice. And then Thomas does a good job contesting the layup attempt of Big Baby.
First free throw, no good. Thomas during the regular season, an excellent free throw shooter at 78%. He's 1 for 3 this afternoon. Now the Celtics still have timeouts remaining. They've got a couple of 20s, so they can call it and advance the ball.
Listen, there's some guys you want at the line in the first 3 quarters, and there's other guys you want at the line to finish off a game.
And that's huge because it makes it a 3-point advantage with 16.6. So the Boston Celtics down by 3. They'll have the ball with 16.6 remaining in the front court. And we'll have the finish for you in just a second. Right now, let's send it to Stuart Scott.
Mike, we're not even going to give the fans and viewing audience a chance to catch their breath, because as soon as this Boston Celtics Chicago Bulls thoroughly entertaining game is over, we're going to give you Game 4 of LeBron and the Cavs against the Pistons.
All right, Stuart. And now the Celtics have a chip. They don't necessarily have to go for 3 with 16.6 remaining and still 1 timeout left. They can have a quick strike for 2.
Absolutely. You don't need that. But Ray Allen, if I'm Chicago, all I know is you do not want them to shoot a 3-point shot here. And I think you have to think about, with the Celtics history, I would start to foul a little bit earlier to prevent the 3. I wouldn't do it right now, but I would think about doing it a little earlier than I normally would do at 8 seconds.
Allen will inbound. Davis, Eddie House, a great 3-point shooter with Pierce. And Glenn Davis out there. Crowd on its feet.
And Tyrese Thomas still on Eddie House in a need 3 situation.
Rondo. Allen for 3. It's good. He ties the game with 9.8 remaining. Ray Allen once again with a huge 3-pointer like in Game 2. 96-96, and it's the Bulls' turn now to try and win this game.
And you got to give credit where credit is due. Doc Rivers out of a timeout. This is a set play. Misdirection and then a rescreen, creating space for Ray Allen to step in rhythm. Inexcusable for Ray Allen to have a wide open look. Up 3.
And Doc Rivers, who was so excited in Game 2 when Allen hit the dagger, does it again.
But you have to ask yourself, from Chicago, who's guarding him? There's so much space there for one of the great shooters of all time.
Here's Game 2 in Boston as Allen hit what proved to be the game winner. One of the great shooters in the history of the NBA. Only Reggie Miller has made more 3-pointers in this game than Allen.
But there's things you say as a team. There's certain things we're going to live with, and then there's things we cannot live with. I cannot live, if I'm the Bulls, with Eddie House or Ray Allen getting a rhythm jump shot.
Game 2 was well defended. This one was not.
Meanwhile, Chicago will inbound plenty of time, but they have no timeouts left if they have trouble getting the ball in. Celtics do not have a foul to give. Miller gets it right back into Rose's hands. A chance to win it here in the final seconds. Rose on the drive, puts up the shot. Won't go. Rebound tipped and taken by Pierce, and we'll go to overtime.
Overtime.
Put 5 minutes on the clock. Second overtime game of this series, and for the 3rd time in 4 games, it goes down to the final possession. Rose with the drive, Mark.
And this is a good play, putting the ball in the hands of Derrick Rose. But how about the job by Tony Allen? Called upon to close out the ball game. He does his job defensively, making life tough.
Ray Allen, so many big threes over his career. His second huge one of this series. Overtime in Chicago. What a series this has been between the defending champion Celtics and the Chicago Bulls for the 2nd time in 4 games. Overtime. And Ray Allen, the main reason we're going to OT. He did it in Game 2. This was the game winner. This was not an overtime game, but the Celtics tied the series at 1 apiece in Boston. And then here, down by 3 in the closing seconds, Allen ties it up with about 9 seconds remaining.
And give Rondo credit on both of those game-winning and game-tying shots. He put the ball right into Ray Allen's shooting pocket.
And also give credit to the Bulls defense for cooperating.
Rondo 1 assist shy of his second triple-double of the series. The game that has featured 26 lead changes. 3 nail-biters and 1 blowout so far. What a great series this has been. Allen out to Rondo. 5 on the shot clock. Scalabrine. That's a 3. Ryan Scalabrine pumps his fist. His first points of the game.
And the assist off of Rondo's penetration.
And that's his 10th. Another triple-double for Rajon Rondo. Rose to Noah. Nice finish. Pretty pass and a strong dunk from Noah. That's the 7th assist for Rose. Now it's Rondo's turn. Salmons. Good ball denial on Pierce. Ray Allen looks up at the clock. Allen, that's a 2-pointer. Ray Allen, swish.
If you're defending Ray Allen, help is a bonus. Your responsibility is to keep a body on him. They are losing him too often.
And a foul called on Ray Allen. A little aggressive on his ball denial. It's his second foul.
Too many guys. Ben Gordon has him here. Ben Gordon has to continue to fight through the screens. You can't say, oh, somebody else has him. Continue to keep a body on him and make life tough. They're not doing that.
That's not good enough right there. That's just not good enough to win.
Heinrich gets inside. Nice move. Flips it up. Misses the banker. Davis the rebound. Pierce comes the other way. 3-point Celtic lead with 3.5 to go in overtime. Pierce spins. Stepped out of bounds. Lost the ball. 19 turnovers for the Celtics. 15 for Chicago. Rose drives. Nearly stripped by Rondo. He was out of bounds. Rondo was out when the ball touched him, so it's Bulls ball with 14 on the clock. Celtics never had possession, so it did not reset.
And give me Rondo any day of the week as my point guard. Forget about what he doesn't do. What he does is so spectacular.
Coming up on 3 minutes remain. Still plenty of time here in the OT. Scalabrine getting some minutes. Salmons knocks down the jump shot. Remember, the Celtics without Kendrick Perkins, he fouled out in the fourth quarter. Rondo, with all the minutes he's played, 47, only 1 turnover.
Think about it from the Celtics. They have not one front court player that was in the rotation last year on the floor.
Pierce with a hand in his face. Oh, Pierce puts the Celtics back up by 3. He's got 20, the 6 of 17 from the field. With a big bucket there. Salmons to the basket, trying to draw some contact. And Davis, another rebound. Scalabrine. Allen comes off the screen. The floater. Ray Allen does it again. 26, and it's a 5-point lead. Vinny Del Negro needs a timeout. Ray Allen, big buckets. And with 2 minutes to go in overtime, Boston with a little breathing room.
And Coach talked about your best players have to play their best when it matters most. Paul Pierce, get out of my way. It's time to dance, Kurt Heinrich. And then Ray Allen, moving without the basketball, putting pressure on the defense time and time again. It's been the 2 guys that are all-stars for the Celtics.
Stuart Scott in the NBA studio. At the conclusion of Celtics Bulls, we'll bring you the rest of Cavaliers Pistons. That game going on ESPN2 right now. Remember, that game will come right here to ABC as soon as the Celtics Bulls in overtime is done. Now let's go back to Mike Breen in Chicago. Mike.
Stewart Celtics with a little breathing room. 5-point advantage. Ray Allen explosive down the stretch in here in OT. But still much time left for Derrick Rose and the Bulls. Miller back in the game. Miller playing with fouls. Salmons hoists up a three. Salmons puts it in. Big shot from Salmons. He struggled all afternoon. And that makes it a 2-point game.
And if you're the Bulls right now, it's about getting a stop on the defensive end. Who's going to man up and get a stop?
Heinrich bellies up on Pierce. Pierce, that pull-up jump shot. And it's patented Paul Pierce move. Celtics by 4. Celtics have not missed a shot here in the overtime. 5 for 5 from the field. Heinrich, good open look, and Heinrich nails it. Pierce falls down, grabbed his right leg momentarily, but he's apparently okay. Under a minute and a half remaining. Pierce slipping a little bit as he comes into the front court.
They got to break the rhythm of this play.
Heinrich on an island right now. 5 on the shot clock.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Pierce in and out. Salmons the rebound. Gordon on the drive. Gordon flips it up. Won't go. Rebound rolls. No, Gordon took it away. And tries to dribble out of trouble. Lost the ball. Picked up by Ray Allen. Crowd wanted a foul. Allen, close to a wall. May have picked up his pivot foot as Doc Rivers wants a timeout. A timeout with 39.4 remaining. Gordon hobbling a little bit as he goes to the Bulls bench.
Ben Gordon forcing the issue. This is bad offense. Good job by the Celtics corralling him and forcing him into a turnover.
Scalabrine, good job there to help force that turnover. Celtics up 2. Their ball when we come back here in overtime.
Stuart Scott here in the NBA studio. Celtics and Bulls are in overtime. As soon as it's over, we'll bring you Cavaliers and Pistons right here on ABC. Right now, that game going on over on ESPN2 just until we're done. LeBron James, 8 points already. Cavaliers a comfortable lead late in the first quarter. Mike?
Doc Rivers diagramming a play. His team up by 2. They have the ball. As you see the timeout situation, each with multiple timeouts, each with 1 foul to give.
And the same predicament here. Just poor defense late against Ray Allen. Miscommunication on the switch leaves the best clutch three-point shooter we've seen in this league open since Reggie Miller, and then just not enough determination by Ben Gordon right there on that play. And then a very well-defended play, but just a better shot by Ray Allen.
Pierce has it. Bulls just need a stop. Salmons now on Pierce. Pierce on the drive. Pierce lost it. Here's Heinrich. One man to beat. It's Scalabrine. And that might be a clear path foul, which would be a costly mistake for Scalabrine and the Celtics. And that's what Danny Crawford, I think, is going to call. Scalabrine was behind Heinrich, and that's the clear path foul. So Heinrich will go to the free throw line. 2 shots. Oh, he missed the free throw. 2 shots and the ball. Yeah, Heinrich just got ahead of him. That's in the rule book to prevent when guys are ahead that somebody from behind doesn't come in and clobber a play that's not clobber a player. That's really a non-basketball play, prevent injuries. We see that foul call, clear path quite a bit.
Used to be 1 shot and the ball. Changed in the last couple years to 2 shots and the ball.
Scalabrine, meanwhile, has fouled out in 18 minutes. Boy, he makes some nice plays as Heinrich hits that second free throw. But that time, just a bad decision.
Doc Rivers once again putting in Tony Allen, the bigger guy, to defend Derrick Rose.
Heinrich's miss totally changes the strategy. If they were tied, they could run it down to one shot.
Gordon pulls up. Gordon's backer won't go. Heinrich had the rebound, lost it. Davis has it, and he's hammered. Heinrich said, hey, I got fouled. He wanted a call. Now the Bulls had a foul to give. Meanwhile, Miller's fouled out of the game. Watch Heinrich come flying in. It looked like Ray Allen hit him.
He got fouled.
Yep, Celtics got a break there. And now the Bulls have to try for a steal on the inbound. If they don't get a steal, they need to foul.
And you need to double team Ray Allen so he can't catch the first pass.
He doesn't get it. They get it to Pierce. And Pierce, who's 6 for 6 from the line this afternoon, he'll go with 18.9 remaining. Heinrich upset with himself.
But if I'm the Bulls right now, I think their body language is almost like it's over with. No, there's plenty of ball game left. Right now, you should be like, okay, we're getting the ball back. We're in a good situation.
Celtics 24 of 27 from the free throw line. 89% as a team. Sensational number. And Pierce is perfect at the stripe, 7 for 7. Even if he hits this one, it's a 3-point game. And as Mark says, plenty of time. And they don't necessarily have to go for a 3 right away, much like the Celtics in regulation. Pierce misses, Rose the rebound and saves it. And a timeout call by Chicago. So it stays a 2-point game. What a wild series this has been. Bulls ball when we come back.
Stuart Scott again with you in the NBA studio. As soon as Celtics and Bulls is over, we'll take you out to Cavaliers and Pistons. That game going on ESPN2 right now. Cavaliers leading late in the first quarter, but Mike Breen, that game might be over before your Celtics-Bulls game is over the way this thing is going.
Well, the way this series has gone, Stuart, they've already had an overtime game. This will be the third one that comes down to the final play, perhaps. And right now, Celtics up by 2, 17.1 remaining. And the Bulls will have to take the ball out in their backcourt because Rose saved that they had advanced the ball so they can't advance it with the timeout. Although with 17 seconds, it's not as important.
No, it's not a big deal. It'll be very interesting to me to see what they run. And I have to have Derrick Rose involved in a pick and roll.
Absolutely. I like the idea of getting him the basketball and trusting that he's going to make a play. You might even want it with a wide open jump shot off of his penetration.
No fouls to give for Boston. Gordon has Rondo on him. Now Allen picks him up on the switch. Gordon to the basket. Inside. Oh, he goes down hard. A hard fall for Gordon as he's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. But it looked like he landed squarely on his hip. Could not break the fall. He's a tough kid from Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon, New York, and he bounces up.
Wow. Ooh. That's a hard fall, but he's got to make free throws. Your back will be your back, and it's going to be sore. You got to make your free throws.
He's a great free throw shooter, 86% during the season. This is his first free throw of the afternoon. Oh, a huge miss. All right, with 9.8 remaining, is it too early for him to miss the second?
Correct. You got to make this one. Then you try to get a steal, or you play the foul game.
One thing I'm surprised that Doc Rivers is not putting in another big guy to rebound off the free throw.
A key here is the Bulls still have a timeout left. And just as you say, Mark, Mikey Moore is going to come in.
And if I'm Vinny Del Negro, I'm thinking about putting Tyrese Thomas in the game as well to try to, on a miss, create a tip-back situation.
So free throws, missed free throws for Chicago have hurt them. Did so in regulation and perhaps here in the overtime. 1-point game. And now Doc Rivers will call one of his final 2 timeouts. Celtics down to 1 remaining. Gordon looks like he's okay. Boy, it's tough to watch. And you heard the sound perhaps. Good hard drive. Gordon went down in a heap. He got up, he stayed in the game. Celtics ball when we come back. They're up 1.
Stuart Scott still with you here in the NBA studio, reminding you again, as soon as the Celtics and Bulls is over, Cavaliers and Pistons, Game 4. Cavs trying to sweep the Pistons out. LeBron James, 10 points in the first quarter. Cavs by 1. That game coming up in its entirety on ABC as soon as this one is over. Mike?
Ray Allen foul. That's the one guy Chicago does not want to see go to the free throw line, although he did miss a free throw earlier.
Exactly, but if you're Derrick Rose, you've got to be tracking Ray Allen and shade him as he comes up as you're guarding the inbounder. Hey, make the ball go to somebody else. Pierce missed one before. Anybody but Ray Allen right there.
Allen 10 points in the fourth quarter, including the game-time 3 in the final seconds. 4 more points in the overtime. And that makes it a 2-point lead.
Here he comes off the stagger screen. If you're Derrick Rose, you've got to shade him and track him so that there is no catch. Noah on the switch has no chance of keeping up with Ray Allen.
And Allen, he wants the ball. He wants to go to the free throw line in these situations. Even some great free throw shooters sometimes shy away at the end. Not Ray Allen. It's a pair right there, and it's a 3-point game with 9 seconds remaining. We'll take a break. The Bulls will have the ball when we come back, down by 3. Do the Celtics foul? We'll see. Nine seconds remaining in overtime. Bulls down by 3. Chicago out of timeouts. The Celtics do not have a foul to give. All right. We talk about this so often during games, Jeff and Mark. Do you foul if you're the Celtics to make sure they don't hit a game-tying 3?
There's no question. I'm fouling. Put the ball on the floor. I'm fouling and making it a free throw shooting contest. I'm not allowing the Bulls to get up a rhythm 3.
Stephon Marbury's come in for defensive purposes. Inbound quick. Back out to Gordon. Gordon looking. Gordon for 3. Bang! Ben Gordon ties the game. Plays after clutch plays in this series.
Good execution out of the timeout. Ben Gordon should have been grabbed immediately. You allow him to get a little bit of airspace, knocks down the jumper, and ties this ball game.
See, to me, the foul shouldn't have occurred against Gordon. The foul should have occurred in the 2-point land right when Salmon's caught it. Then you're not even in any danger of fouling on the shot. That's a Phoenix Suns Mike D'Antoni action. Hit the post, flare for the inbounder. It works a lot in this league.
Now the Celtics are out of timeouts, and the Bulls do not have a foul to give. Boston with a chance to win it with 4.5 remaining. Plenty of time to get off a quality shot. Ben Gordon and Ray Allen have hit so many big shots in this series. So have Rose and Rondo. 3 of the 4 games have come down to the final possession. Celtics trying to take a commanding 3-1 lead.
And 4.5 seconds to go. That's plenty of time for the Celtics to get a quality look out of a timeout.
Pierce looking, gets it to Rondo. Rondo on the drive, the pull-up jumper for the win. No good. Double overtime. Doc Rivers wanted him to take it to the basket.
That's the only reason you set that play up, for Rondo to have one-on-one and get to the cup.
So for The second time, as we said in this series, overtime. This one a double overtime. Ben Gordon forces the second OT with a clutch three-pointer. 5 more minutes on the clock in Chicago.
Stuart Scott in the studio. I'm really just trying to breathe. Get a breath watching the Celtics Bulls. Hey, they're in double overtime. Cavaliers Pistons going on ESPN2 right now. That game will switch over to ABC as soon as the Celtics Bulls game is over, which Mike Green might be 10 or 11 tonight.
Stuart, we're not complaining. What a great game. What a great series. And 2 UConn Huskies dueling once again, much like they did in Game 2. End of regulation. Celtics down by 3. Under 10 seconds to go. Ray Allen fires up 3. Ties the game. And we go to an overtime. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bulls under 10 seconds. Under 5 seconds. Ben Gordon down 3. Nails the 3. And we've got a second overtime. Gordon had 42 in Game 2, but he lost. He would certainly give up some points to get a win and tie the series. So once again, 5 minutes on the clock. You shoot on the 4th penalty, 14th foul in overtime. And each team with timeouts gets 3 timeouts, 2 fulls and a 20. Celtics had a 5-point lead in that first overtime. Ball batted around, and it's going to be Chicago ball.
Very interesting. Doc Rivers choosing to stick with Tony Allen to start this second overtime. Likes what he's doing defensively against Derrick Rose.
Gordon rises up again, puts it in. Bulls with their first lead of the overtimes. Salmon's on Pierce. Good help from Noah. Here's Rondo. Davis, the jump shot. Can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound. The 2 point guards battle. And a loose ball foul called on Rondo. That's his 5th. Rondo's been magnificent. Another triple-double. But he's 1 away from fouling out.
And this is good hustle, trying to crash the offensive board. Derrick Rose doing his job, boxing out a rebounding point guard.
And Chicago's going to run the same set, but they've switched the matchup. Boston has put Tony Allen on Ben Gordon.
Gordon on the drive again. Pulls up. Gordon's jumper won't go. And Ray Allen, good battling, boxing out Noah to grab that board. Tony Allen back to Davis. Just over a minute gone by in the second overtime. Salmon's right up on Pierce. Pierce creates some space. That won't go. Pierce just 7 of 20 from the field. Gordon against Allen. Gordon, a 2-pointer. Off the mark. Rondo dribbling off his foot. Gordon on the drive. Lost the ball, but a foul on the reach-in. It's on the pass, so they'll take it out of bounds. Pierce's 3rd.
And here's the only problem with Derrick Rose. Get the basketball out of the hands of Ben Gordon and run your team. You're a young point guard, but you don't play young. Be the leader of this basketball team.
A new 24 for Chicago. Davis on Rose. Rose takes it to the basket. Bank shot misses. Noah's tip won't go, but he's called for a loose ball foul. That's 4 on Joakim Noah. And the first team foul against the Bulls.
Big baby Davis, good feet against Derrick Rose right there. And Paul Pierce, the strength to block out a starting center in this league and draw the loose ball foul. Good play by the Celtics.
Rondo sets it up. Rose plays off him. Davis back to Pierce. Pierce Salmons doesn't go for the fake. High pass to Allen. Allen fires a three. Too strong. Rondo tracks down the rebound. Lost it. But Davis right there. And a new 24 now for Boston. Crowd wanted to charge. Ray Allen inside to Tony Allen. Ball knocked loose. Heinrich comes out with it. It's Gordon. Heinrich to Rose. Touch pass. Salmons. Reverse layup. Banks it in. And the Bulls go up by 4. Timeout Celtics.
Excellent ball movement. Continue to play as if it's early in the ball game. Push the ball down the throat of the older team. Derrick Rose, crisp, fast break pass to Salmons. Excellent execution by the Bulls.
So good. So good. Celtics Bulls in double overtime. Cavaliers Pistons in the first half. That game going on ESPN2. As soon as Celtics Bulls is over, Cavaliers Pistons will come right here to ABC. Let's go back to Mike now in Chicago.
All right, Stuart, this is nothing new for the Celtics. Last year in the first round, it took them 7 games to eliminate Atlanta. And right now they're in a real battle with the Chicago Bulls, down 4, 2.5 remaining in overtime. But of course they're without a key man. This place so excited. They were fired up on Thursday night, but their team got blown out and lost the home court that they had gained an advantage by the Game 1 victory in Boston.
Doctor is putting Eddie House in the ball game and place Tony Allen once more offense.
Allen to Davis. Davis inside, can't get it to go, and then he fouls Noah. Davis has had some great looks, but it just won't fall for him this afternoon. Just 3 of 15 from the field.
Yeah, that's good offense, but that's outstanding defense. That's big guys not giving up on the play. Noah stops the penetration, Salmons helps, and then Noah gets back to contest the layup attempt of Big Baby.
And Big Baby's got to finish that.
Celtics still have not scored here in the second overtime. Salmons back out. Gordon for 3. Won't go. Ball tipped, but taken by Pierce.
And I think Chicago's got to think about going back to that 1-2 pick and roll with Eddie House on the floor to get the matchup you want with Derrick Rose against Eddie House.
Under the 2-minute mark, second overtime. Eddie House looking for an opening. Finds Davis. That time he finishes. And it's a 2-point game.
It's a good read by Eddie House. Get to your spot because you're a knockdown shooter. They overhelp, and he delivers the pass to Davis.
The first points of the second OT. Boston led by 5 in the first overtime. The Bulls have been up by 4 here in the second one. Heinrich inside to Noah. Gorgeous feed. Joakim Noah throws it down.
Give the Bulls credit. They are executing in this second overtime.
7 players in double figures for Chicago. Everybody contributing. Rondo inside to Davis. Davis back out. Ray Allen. The baseline drive blocked by Noah. Picked up by Salmons. The United Center exploding right now as we come up on a minute remaining in the second overtime. Rose nearly lost it. Shot clock at 5. Rose pulls up for the jumper. And House the rebound. Not a good possession that time. Still plenty of time for the Celtics. Pierce, the three-pointer misfires. Noah, another big rebound. And he's fouled. Celtics in the penalty. So Joakim Noah with a double-double this afternoon will shoot free throws.
And, Mike, when we talk about executing, they haven't just done it on the defensive end, but also offensively. Vinny Del Negro says, I want my guys moving the basketball. Kurt Heinrich delivers the ball down low. Crisp bounce pass to Noah, and the big guy has shown up.
And Big Baby Davis on that play was committing to Ray Allen when the pass was going to the other side of the floor, which led to the dunk by Noah.
Big shot there from Noah. If the Bulls hit their free throws, they're going to win this game. Again, they had their best free throw shooting season in franchise history, but they missed some clutch ones down the stretch of regulation and overtime. Right now, they lead by 5. And Doc Rivers will call one of his final 2 timeouts. 34.3 seconds remaining, second overtime. Celtics ball down 5. It's still only the first round, and the Boston Celtics and Chicago Bulls battling once again. As the Bulls leading by 5. So impressive that Ray Allen three-pointer to force the first overtime seemed to almost deflate the Bulls a little bit. But, Mark, they came back so strong in that first overtime.
Got to give them a lot of credit. Young team did not quit. They hung in there, and they find themselves in excellent position to close out this second overtime.
Meanwhile, this one's still not over right now, although it's going to take some pretty big plays for the Celtics. Down by 5. Rondo to the basket, can't get it to go. Tip won't go. Pierce the rebound. Pierce back up, puts it in. And a foul. Big play right there, and a chance for a three-point play as it's back to a three-point margin.
First team foul in overtime.
So Pierce will go to the line. He's 7 of 8 from the line, 25 points.
Tyrese Thomas back for Chicago.
It's an interesting dilemma for Doc Rivers. Make the free throw, 3.3 differential. Do you foul or do you let it play out? I would foul. I don't think the differential's enough.
Especially in the fact that they could hit free throws and make it a 4-point game, even if Pierce hits this one. 2-point game. And now Vinny Del Negro will call a timeout.
And I disagree with Coach. I would live with playing solid defense and secure the basketball, get a timeout, and try to get a look at it.
We'll see the strategy when we come back. Bulls up 2 with the ball. .3 seconds remaining. Second overtime here in Game 4 in Chicago. The Bulls by 2. And they're playing the second overtime because of Ben Gordon making big plays, Mark Jackson.
Outstanding guy. Reminds me of the microwave Vinnie Johnson, the former Detroit Piston. But Ben Gordon certainly put his team on his back. The tough spill. But how about bouncing back? Excellent execution. Knocks down the dagger 3 with just 4.5 to go to give his team second life.
You know, so much talked about the free agent class of 2010. He's the free agent class of 2009. Gordon a couple of years ago turned down a $58 million deal to re-sign with Chicago. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent this year. He keeps hitting shots like that. He's going to make himself a lot of money.
He turned down a lot. He should have taken that. But this is interesting. They're going to match up back here. It'll be interesting to see, do the Celtics foul or play it out?
Sama trying to get free, knocked away by Pierce. And a whistle and a foul. And it's going to go against Paul Pierce. Boy, that looked very close to a steal.
34, that's Paul Pierce. Foul on Paul Pierce.
So Pierce can't believe it. He picks up his 4th. They're in the penalty. Doc Rivers doesn't agree.
He's out of bounds, so I don't agree with the foul call, but he was out of bounds anyway, so Chicago would have inbounded. But about a year and a half or 2 years ago, they decided, the NBA did, too much was happening on late game inbound situations that the defense would be giving too many liberties. So Danny Crawford's trying to officiate the way he was told to.
That was the maybe #1 point of emphasis for the officials this season. They felt there was too much going on, too much grabbing. Well, Salmons hits the free throw, and this one huge right now. 3-point game. Celtics still have a timeout left. Salmons hits both, and Doc Rivers will use his final timeout with his team down by 4. 20.6 seconds remaining. Bulls trying to tie this series up at 2.
Stuart Scott still in the NBA studio. I've said this before. As soon as Celtics and Bulls are over, Cavaliers-Pistons will be right here on ABC. It's on ESPN2 right now. It looks like we may be ending soon, finally, Mike.
Stuart, I wouldn't guarantee it. Still plenty of time remaining. If you're just tuning in, fourth quarter, Celtics down by 3. Under 10 seconds to go. Ray Allen. The game-tying 3, Bulls didn't score. Then in overtime, Bulls down by 3. Under 5 seconds to go, Ben Gordon ties the game, forces the second overtime. The Bulls have led the entire second OT. Right now, a 4-point advantage. Celtics, though, out of timeouts. Kick it out, Allen, three-pointer to the right side. Won't go. Davis tips it back out to Pierce. Pierce fakes. Open 3. It's good. Pierce rattles it in. And it's a 1-point game.
That was a brilliantly designed out-of-bounds play. And we always said when you're defending the 3 late, you have to stay with the three-point shooter when the shot goes up. Salmons came in to rebound, so then he was in a tough closeout position. This is just tremendous Boston execution right here. Great pass by Rondo, and then a good tip back by Davis. But see, Salmons has got too far to go, so he has to fly by him, and Pierce knocks it down.
And again, you can't underestimate Big Baby knocking that ball out. Pierce doesn't get that opportunity. Those little plays that make all the difference that they need the Big Baby Davises to do.
And to me, that's why you have to stay at home on the three-point shooters when the ball goes up, when you're trying to protect the three-point shot.
All right, so now the Bulls have the 1-point lead and the ball. Obviously, the Celtics have to foul.
And here's something that Coach and I totally agree with. We talk about it all the time. In this situation, the Bulls are aware of the fact that the Celtics want to foul. If I'm Doc Rivers and the Celtics, I look to try to steal the basketball before committing the foul. There's a lot of time left in this game.
Yeah, I agree. We trap the ball if you don't get the initial steal, and they're going to run the same action they ran before, putting 2 guys in the backcourt at a different angle.
They can throw it in the backcourt. Chicago has 1 timeout left, so if they have trouble getting it in, they can call time. Heinrich looking, gets it to Salmons, and Salmons is fouled. Salmons is 7 for 7 from the line this afternoon.
And they did exactly what Mark was speaking about. Boston did not want to foul initially. They had 3 guys around the ball. Could have been possibly a strip.
So now Salmons with the free throws again. Boston does not have a timeout, so they've got to push it up the floor. And without a timeout, does that change your strategy? Salmons hits the first. If he hits the second and it's a 3-point game, can they go for a quick 2 still?
Absolutely. You get the ball into Rondo's hands and blow it up the floor and live with his decision-making process.
Salmons, 19 points. Clutch free throws from John Salmons. 3-point game. Celtics out of timeouts. Shot clock is off Rondo. Rondo's setting it up. Celtics now have to go for the 3-pointer. Pierce with Salmons on him. Pierce blocked. Gordon the rebound. That's it. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. The Chicago Bulls with the double overtime victory. What a victory here at home. What a series this has been. And there's still games to go. Obviously, they were going for the 3-pointer.
Well, trying to get the ball in the hands of Paul Pierce. If you're Rondo, at some point you have to make a decision to look to be aggressive. It wasn't defending him. You live with Rondo pulling up in that situation, but good defense by the Chicago Bulls, and Salmons contesting the shot, not fouling Paul Pierce.
Very dangerous defensive play. A terrific one, but a dangerous one, as Pierce had it deflected. And Ben Gordon and the Bulls emerge victorious. And And this Eastern Conference, what a competitive first round. It's now all even for the Chicago Bulls, just like it was last year in the first round for the Boston Celtics against Atlanta. Meanwhile, Orlando, Philly, coming up, big game tonight. Final score in double overtime. The Bulls 121, the Celtics 118. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Coming up next on ABC, Game 4 between the Cavs and the Pistons. So for Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Lisa Salters, and our entire ABC crew, this is Mike Breen saying so long from Chicago. Thanks for watching a thrilling game here on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.